No, Jameson. I think you got it beat now. I think you got it down.
Yeah, the
Nah,
impression is just
Impression. No, no. Now that is the
that
impression.
is
Jameson.
the
yeah.
Yeah. In my head, because I like him saying it a lot better. It's a lot less jarring.
Honestly, it's nice, soothing. It's not as like mean as the lady yelling at you.
I know.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, like he has a nice steady build up. Like the computer's like, boom. It's
Well, the computer doesn't actually say sentences; it's just words, and then it tries to string them together.
there's a lot of those new AI that are starting to try to get the inflectuation and the sound right and the level of the voice right.
Like kind of creepy if you
It's
ask
getting
me.
there. It's kind of creepy. It's getting there. Yeah.
I
It's
think,
an
I think my
uncanny
favorite
valley.
is the teddy bears explaining the was it the quantitative easing? Yeah,
Oh
that's
my gosh.
hilarious.
Oh my god. I've not seen that.
The quantitative easing is done by printing more money. It's,
I'll have to look that up.
it's accurate, but it's
But
it's
just
best.
creepy to hear, especially from a teddy bear, right? Yeah. Good stuff.
You ever,
Um,
you ever hear that Google assistant that like would make an appointment for like a haircut for you? You
So
know,
then again, like Google
it'll even
Assistant.
balance out your schedule with the person on the phone live.
wow.
That's sick.
It's good,
Yeah.
man. Good,
I mean, it
man.
was a show, so I don't know if it works in real life, but
Oh.
it was pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
uh,
Good stuff. Well, our party has saved Theros from further complications and from the plague and the sickness. Um, their popularity and their renown is growing in Melitus. Apologize, my dog is barking in the back. Um,
Boochie!
hopefully, she'll shut him up soon. Um, so then they decide to travel. They've already sent. Let me know if I'm wrong, but they've sent a vial of the antidote ahead to Akros to the people there, and now they are actually going there to stop off to resupply rations and a couple other things that you all mentioned, because it seems their next focus is to head to the Badlands of Scophos. The city there is the labyrinth city of Scophos that is overrun by monsters and minotaurs and is heavily devoted. That land itself is heavily devoted to Mogus territory because our friend Alcides, gentleman that he's been taken under his wing, is from scrying. From with talking to this oracle, we know he is there, and that is where we'll be picking up today. Anything anyone else wants to add to that? And that is. I always get his name confused with another NPC. He's not Exekias. He is
Erroneous.
Erroneous. Yes.
Are we still in the city where everything's looking still a little dour?
No,
Like,
we are. No, you are. Remember you. So, oh yeah, I'll add. So, remember you guys decided because of Erroneous's plight, Erroneous plight, it would behoove you to kind of get started on the journey that night. So, after having that long conversation with the Oracle, you left, and then you were given that new beautiful chariot with two Pegasi, the beautiful white ones, and those flew you over. You had a fight with the Manticore, survived it, and now you are flying into the city limits. And we'll be picking up with you actually being in Akros. You did get your first sighting of that red dragon, Thraxes, off in the distance at the end of the session as well. So I think that
so are we in the chariot?
we're at Akros. You're in Akros. So
We
if you
got
look
up.
on, if you're on Legend Keeper, if you want to pull up Legend Keeper, you can see Akros is the. Actually, speaking of, I'm going to log in here too. Akros is the city that Alcides is from. It is the warrior city. It's one of the cities we've been to. It's a city where the big we're definitely past the time of the year where they have the college. There's always games or you know games and shows going on and tests of athleticism going on here, but the big one has already passed, and so right now it's more of the traditional time where there are less others from all over TEHROS here in TEHROS, which kind of feels like a Spartan military state when in any other time. So that is, so if you know, that's kind of the city that is closest to Scophos, kind of heading north of our three major large polis. What I'll also do to give you a little more beforehand, I think I can throw all your emails in here. I'm going to send you an email really quick to give you access to another map within Legend Keeper, and this map will be a general map, just showing you the like the layout of Akros in general. So let me get that really quick.
While he's doing that, so I guess we should prep a dual pronged surgical precision extraction raid. Calyx, how long can you stay invisible, and can you make other people invisible?
I can stay for about an hour. What I'd recommend though is if we can get a safety camp about, or if we can, I can teleport in and out.
Yeah, I was thinking we make the distraction, so we'll start a fight, get all the monsters to come to us, basically siege the place or whatever. You sneak in there, find the dude, and get him out. Just don't get seen, don't get caught. We get everyone's attention. Hopefully clearing the way for you.
Mind if I take Nazari?
No.
All right, sounds good.
I will share with you that you, just so you, because I imagine your characters know this, whether you've been there or not, Scophos is considered a city and considered a type of polis, but what it just really is an enormous labyrinth of different caverns and open topped. A lot of it is built like almost like the gods built a man-made structure out of canyons. So some of the hallways of these actual this maze that is in the Badlands is almost like if you were walking through the Grand Canyon, that might be one of those maze halls. But then inside of those halls are other dungeons and other mazes, and then there's a city on top of it. If I actually turn off my video here, you can see how it's depicted on the TEHROS map. Like that's not a little maze, right? So I don't know if you're gonna draw all of the monsters out of that. Is literally a polis as large as Akros or any other, if not, I think actually probably a lot larger. And it's almost like it's like built into the rock. You know, it's all kind of chiseled in that place. So just to give you some more feeling, even though you haven't even gotten there yet, so that might help Doth and help all of you with this kind of planning. So
Still, yeah. Still,
go ahead.
Still the overarching one. Like, so of course we still need to run recon. We still need to know what the fuck's going on. Still need to get to the general location and all that stuff. But when it comes time, just to minimize the risk of them getting hurt, we pick apart. You guys go snatch and grab, and we'll make noise.
Sounds good. And just during the flight, Galaxy like holding out his scroll of Find Familiar and just like trying to work through it, maybe asking Dolph for help, but seeing if he can cast it. Or just
trying to cash?
Find Familiar, the spell scroll I got last time.
The first thing that you need to know is that the components represent goes into a long, detailed explanation of how you're basically using the charcoal in order to create a shape. It's a gateway, if you would, to a place where spirits reside. And you're contacting the spirit in order to bring a linked version of that spirit as it exists in another realm. You can choose different realms. It could be from The realm where the fairies are, it could be a realm from where like the demons are, that sort of thing. The duration is until it's going to be killed, but you can choose the form that it takes. Generally, you want something that's going to, I don't know, suit your movement parameters, and they're all really squishy. So just make sure they don't get hit.
Okay.
You've
Sounds
seen me use vultures and
And he's gonna summon one.
spiders.
So all of you should have gotten an email that allows you, just similar when I normally send you a Legend Keeper email. This will just this one will give you access to a new map, and if you do join it, then I'll see you once you're added, like your profile at the top, or you'll have access to it. It's just a different world map, but it's just going to be a map of TEHROS. If you guys see that, I sent it to the emails that I have on file for you all.
Do we get a rest before coming here?
You're gonna get a rest while you're there. I haven't once we start officially, but right now you have not rested yet.
Okay. From escaping the underworld.
Oh yeah, you would have got a rest but you just had a fight. Since you weren't here last time, Nazari, just keep yourself where you are because you still were in that fight in the chariot above. So yeah, we will just keep you where. Are you like really messed up and all?
No, I'm okay. I was just curious.
Just keep you there because you haven't had a long rest again yet.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I'm fine.
But he have to make that con save
Remind me.
when we exit the underworld because of its oppression and all that.
Yeah, I would have only made him do that because that's only free probably if people were there. If you all failed it or didn't make it, by you not being there, you kind of got a freebie on that when you got out of the underworld. I'm not gonna go back because then I'd have to.
I think by now all the exhaustion's gone because we did spend.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't a. Yeah, we won't go back.
Maybe he feels better than okay because he's never been to the real realm.
Yeah,
that's true.
I grew up in the underworld.
He's probably jonesing off the high of being.
I'm so high right now. I just picture like going through everything, holding on to Calix's shirt from the back, like a 5-year-old.
Now this isn't the most exhaustive map, but it just kind of allows you in your mind mentally to have an understanding of the layout, where the Caliphon is, which is like up on this. In 2 stages, the city kind of continuously goes more up the rock, the mountain, in the area where the Citadel is up, kind of like that's looking more north. Everything around the map where you see the air, like the clouds. Remember, like it's just like you see behind me. TEHROS is built on that sheer cliff. Even when you all remember that when you went down to see Alcides, I think sister who was practicing with her mother, you guys had to. This was a long time ago. You guys had to go down the side of the mountain to get to them, and they were at that waterfall. So that's all on that side. Anything on the left hand side is kind of like, regular, more like desert and forestry land. Of course you can see where the mountains are, and then you can hover over. There are certain places like where you would find lodging, where the arena is. They call it the Temple of Triumph. Certain things like that. Even Alcides would know where the House of Christo is, which is, remember you guys stayed there because you helped out Proxinos' mom that one time. So yeah, just gives you a little more flavor. It's not completely built out because everything in the city hasn't necessarily been explored, but it's there for reference. All right. So what I will say to start off the session to kind of kick us off is. Late that evening, after the situation with the Manticore, the party flies in their chariots. Now, Alcides knows that it's best to approach the front gates. Knowing that he's a soldier, he's able to report in. They are able to take you all in, and they take the horses. You get like a special. They have Alcides, park your flying chariot. It's above. It's like above like where if you look at where there's a place that says stables. It's above the stables, like a second tiered building, and they're literally up in that building there where they take the Pegasi in. You all are able to. We won't role play, but of course you're able to find some lodging. You find a decent tavern, unless you're going to Alcides' place. You can always change to that. But you all were able to settle in late in that evening and get some rest and then sleep for at least 4 hours for the rest of the night. So you've gotten at least a short rest in, going on a long rest as you're waking up that morning. And of course you can still do things while you're, you can do mundane things while you're in that long rest. Which that extra 4 hours might go by like this. But as you wake up and you're back, Alcides is back in his home city. You're all back in familiar territory. You can see the effects that are even starting to happen here. This place seemed like it was less affected by the plague and is a little bit more business as usual, as there are places where people were sick, but they're slowly getting better. But it's not the same kind of sense as how hard it hit Meletus. It was like just starting to get that way here. As we pick up with you all that next day, sun's kind of shining on you. Birds out. There's a nice breeze here in Akros. Where do you? Yeah, we'll kind of turn it over and we can talk through some of the next planning. I know some of you all want to get rations. I saw a couple things on there, like I know Nazari wants to go pray at the tombs, and Alcides ends up, going to give his brother, his younger brother, his badge, which I think your brother is ecstatic at, because that's something he's always dreamed of, and he's very excited to be able to go and take this next step, leave Akros and go to Meletus and study. But I'll turn it over. You guys going to start off and pick off where you want to begin. Doth, you said you were going to send a message to the other group. Is that using your spell message? Or is it actual message like carrier pigeon or something like that? Oh, yeah, I think you're muted.
I think it was the Oracle. I got notes somewhere.
Oh, okay. If you would have sent it through the Oracle before, okay.
Yeah. Basically, I guess out of character. As Rick, trying to figure out I don't know, like a social order that I could try to establish in the future. So I'm thinking something along the lines of like Magi and some of those other ones, where basically the city states are dungeons, and so we basically take over a dungeon and then augment it, then have all the other people come to our place and go through the dungeon. So I figured Scophos would be a good place to try and take over.
Okay, I can see that. So trying to get the party to come to Scophos. Would you be putting them through would your dungeon be dangerous to them? Would it actually? Oh no,
this is it's in way down the line.
But he's still trying to get that message to them, come.
Yeah. In the immediate need, I know it's a big place, and I know that it's a maze. So when we do go in there, the chances of us getting out aren't necessarily that great, considering there's all of 4 of us.
Right.
So I'm trying to call in some backup just in case we need it.
Okay. Makes sense. All right. That if it works, that might get you a double team game with it'll be you're looking at a 12-person game in the future if this works out to your. Another way to do it is considering you could give that message either handwritten. You know that the bronze bullies are well known in Akros. They could be probably contacted directly through the city-state, or through visiting, maybe through House Christo, which is Proxenos' mother as well. But in Oracle, you could try just as well.
Well, I think I'm gonna do the 3-pronged approach, because I don't really know much about these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So one approach will offer treasure, the other will offer social renown for doing the right thing, and the other will offer the opportunity to slaughter us mercilessly.
Okay.
So
I was gonna suggest maybe just say fuck Heliod too. That might help.
Well, like I said, the champions of Heliod have declared that blah blah blah. The dragon of Perforos must die, and are intent on slaughtering it and stealing its treasure. Only you can stop them, but you must act quickly. Meet them at blah blah blah. So,
assuming I know you all have enough of those connections to get them to the right hand, so I won't even unless you would like to roleplay. I won't roleplay it, but I won't even make you make a check, because you've already written out what it says. It all makes sense. You've already decided. You described your 3-prong approach. I will leave it up to a higher probability. I'll probably roll a D100 and choose it based on a let's say there's a I'll say it's like there's like roughly an 80% chance that they get this message. And then I will tell you if that happens, basically either by the end of this game or another game or the next game, when you get some kind of response from the Bronze Bullies. And I'll make it that it'll be easier for them to respond if they are currently in any of the other polis, or it depends on if they're in a dungeon right now. It might take a little bit longer to get them, just to hear back from them. But I have duly noted the Dot's plan and what he wants from that. So offer them glory, offer them a chance to.
I do need to visit House Christo.
Okay.
Go give Protagonist's brother the medallion from his father.
Nice. All right. And so, somewhere that morning, you are. Does Alcides go alone?
I mean, unless anyone.
Because
tags
everybody could
along.
maybe split off and do their own thing. I mean, you guys are all in a heavily fortified, protected city, so I'm not asking that, like, do you go alone? It's not that kind of question. But I think that you actually find it is one of those days where, man, I am forgetting all of his brother's name is.
I'm in microbiology right now,
Mhm.
and it just feels like every single thing that we talk about is a name for TEHROS.
Oh yeah, because it's all Greek based.
It's really confusing.
Good old mitochondries.
Yeah. But Proxinos' brother is always kind of well adorned, and he, unlike if you've ever met Proxinos, who kind of looks more like a hippie druid, his brother exemplifies the highest kind of order, and he doesn't really exemplify like what it is to be, I think, an Acroin soldier. I think even the soldiers understand that, but he more exemplifies what it is to be kind of like a noble. He still knows how to fight. Think of him almost as he's more like Commodus in Gladiator, in terms of his fighting ability. A lot of skill, but not a lot of experience. That's how people kind of treat him, but he does, his word holds weight. And as he is actually summoned into his quarters in his home where you're able to meet him, he thanks you for the medallion, and he asks you, where did you get this? His blue eyes,
I met your
golden
father
hair,
in Elysium.
boyish features.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just like, while looking for the purple orchid in Elysium, I ran across your father, Pentos.
He seems to be affected by this. You met my father. You've been to Elysium. I've heard some stories in my day. If it wasn't for the reports coming from Melitus that confirm your story, I would not believe this. But he wanted me to have this?
That is correct.
By Heliot, I thank you. I don't know what I can give you. Did he have any good word or anything for me?
Crap, trying to remember what he said.
And I'm not even asking because I mean I don't think there was anything necessarily particular, but depending on what you
it
tell
was
me.
more for Proxinos that he's proud that he's going out and making his own path, and then for him it's just like, here's the medallion.
So it just depends on, do you tell him that? Do you tell him that there were words for Proxinos?
Nah.
No.
Unless he asks directly.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
But I will ask him about his, who was the Penthos that was here.
Do not you make me travel down roads I care not, memories I care not. But everyone by now knows that the Penthos that we knew is the vile dragon Thraxes. But he has been driven off. Did it by my own hand. There in the volcano of Velus, not long ago. maybe a month ago, I and the Bronze Bullies, me of course leading the charge, drove him from his home. He is no longer a champion of TEHROS, and by my doing with the help of them, we triumphed. He is alive, but licking his wounds, and will not return.
I'm not 100% sure about that. Just last night we saw a dragon kill a manticore pretty close to here.
You speak of... do not speak of this to anyone. Why don't we keep this between us? And you can advise each other. I do not want to worry the people of TEHROS. Speak only to myself and other military advisors. Lady Tyrannica, and he mentions Tyrannica, as you know, is the lady, the head of the state, the monarch. She's still recovering from this plague, so the people, he's kind of describing it as, peoples of their overall, pride and, has been hit for a while, and people are still recovering from that, and he's like, the last thing he wants to do is scare them about this dragon. And if Alcides accepts that, he says, well, I thank you for coming all this way and bringing this. You always are welcome here at my home. And a token of gratitude, I will, for your troubles. He kind of pulls a small bag, a pouch of coins, and he turns over, for you and your group, 100 gold coins.
I'm sure they'll appreciate this, but I don't need this, but they will.
I know you are a soldier. I can see that. So I appreciate your service and what you continue to do for TEHROS. I will keep you posted. Now that we have made this connection, I will reach out to you we must find a way where I can connect with you. I will look to... When will you be leaving the city?
We would like to leave as soon as possible, because if you ever met Aronius, the Skoranier man from Setessa, he was here during the games and escorting other things and exercising per my instruction. He has gotten lost in the labyrinths of Scophos.
I do not know this Aronius, but I hope you find him. Well, I know if your time is of the essence, then I will let you be. Guys, give me 1 second. I gotta make a lot of noise. That's my dog. Let me put it down. So I'll allow you guys to roleplay amongst yourself. I'll be right back.
That gives me a good idea. Can we find a dog that's a bloodhound?
Galaxy just seemed to be asking Nizari, like, so, real world, what do you think? Oh, hon, you're muted.
That's just Nazari, just speechless.
Yeah. I was gonna say, when we first got into the mortal realm, it looked a lot like the underworld, but
No, that's just Meltus for you.
But right now, this is amazing.
Nizari, did you go to the? Did you seek out the tombs or the crypts in TEHROS to pray?
I seeked out. I went to the tombs in the cemetery to see if there are any funerals being taken place. I would also look for anybody in the streets that, like, if there's like somebody like neglected homeless people that die by themselves. I would feel an obligation to pray for them, even if there's nobody for them. Give them the clay coins so they can find passage into the underworld. That's how I want to honor my god.
I don't think that'd be much of that in TEHROS.
It wouldn't be much of it here. I was going to say, because of the way there aren't very many homeless. There aren't very many. You notice that you also don't see very many old people, at least out and about. Alcides, would you add something to that since you were also sharing?
Oh yeah, just being an old person in Akros would be awesome because being old, according to the Spartans, was great because that means you have fought life hard enough and long enough to be old.
Yeah.
That's actually very honorable to be old and actually die of old age.
So they would actually would be kind of given this prestige. So you wouldn't really see them like out. You wouldn't see them old like homeless people necessarily. And because most of the young are drafted into the military, someone always has a job for you unless you aren't able-bodied.
Okay, well, I would then picture that Alcides probably explained that to me.
Yeah.
And when I'd say like, I'd love to like have like a do my own funeral here in the mortal realm. But I'll just say Alcides explained that probably won't work in the city. So then I'll be like, okay. And then like every 5 minutes I'll probably be like, what's that? What's that?
That is a pillar.
What is that?
That is also a pillar.
Oh. Well, what's that there for? And then from the other one.
That is for that building. That is for the other.
One major difference in Nazari continues to see that is for the time they were in Meletus, there were shrines to all of the gods, like depicted almost everywhere. You would see them, carved into the side of buildings. You'd see shrines in parks, and here you see mostly, not limited to, but you see mostly Heliod and Iroas depicted almost exclusively. There is a small shrine to Atheros when you do go to the crypts that is there, but very small shrine. Can I have because I know you had mentioned you just went to, did you actually pray at all, or no, just more so looking for that funeral?
Yeah, I don't see Nazari just wanting to sit and pray to Atheros because he's not going to answer. He's not the person to answer to anybody, even if they ask for it. So because I worship him, I wouldn't even want to bother him because he's busy working. Yeah. So the way I would worship him is I would look for anybody that needs a funeral that is going into the afterlife. So that way I can help them with giving them clay coins, help them so that way they can pay the boat fee to Atheros to move to the underworld so they're not stuck.
Got it.
That's how I want to honor him, and that's how that Nazari is going to pray. He has that background feeling like, oh man, I really need to like help somebody soon. I really need to, but everything is just so wonderful right now. I don't know if you heard me while I was away. I pictured Nazari holding the back of Calix's shirt like a leash and just looking around like a 5-year-old at everything.
Got it.
But I mean, with his devil eyes, this is just focusing in and unfocusing on everything. Like he can just see so much more. And for once, he's not fucking so noisy with the undead.
Yeah.
I'm whenever I did my undead site, it was everywhere. But for the first time ever, it's quiet. All I hear is this guy.
Can I have since he is concerned with people and like that passage, without even praying, can I have a religion check? Since he's concerned with that.
Yeah, I got a 6.
Okay, so doesn't see anything out of the ordinary, but yeah, he's just taking in a lot, right? And he's still learning a lot, and Alcides is telling him. Alcides, I know you've given this thing to the brother, to your brother. I imagine that over that morning you're able to restock your rations like you just described, dried sardines, some dried meat, mixed nuts, dried fruit, so forth. Enough for, I'd say, 3 weeks. And you've collected your military pay, which about the time that you've all been gone is about 60 gold pieces.
Divided?
No, that's just his military pay. He can divide it. He can give it to the party, but no. It's his military pay.
All right, just trying to make sense of the situation.
And then when I meet up with them, I will divide up the 100.
And I have lost I'll be honest with you, I've kind of lost track of the time of this game, but I imagine since we've started, they have been in the world for almost 2 months. Like, a little over 2 months have gone by, not changing the weird time situation since they've been in the underworld. And so with that,
fuck with the time. So It's whatever.
Yeah, and so with that, that's pretty much he does one gold piece a day for that certain amount of weeks. So estimated it to 60 gold that he gets paid out. And so these are some of the things that are happening. And then while you guys are walking in the streets together, I know that time is of the essence because you're prepping and planning. I know that I think Doth even talked about possibly going to buy spell scrolls, and so there, as in the market, you can kind of hear the horse carriages. You see the people walking through. There are places too. Now, Akros is not known for its magic, so their spell scrolls might be slim, or they might just be really expensive in the city for those who have them. But you do see people selling potions and wares and other, armor and stuff like that. And so, there is Doth spot a shop behind some beads at like the end in this little square, open town square, where people are kind of walking through with all of their horses, carriage, camels, stuff like that. And in that little spot where it says scrolls, there's kind of like beads hanging over the entryway. And then all of you hear this woman kind of in that square kind of crying out. And people, for the most part, are kind of ignoring her. And she's shrouded in dark colored garments. And she just keeps saying, "Someone please, help. We're just begging, help our village, the village of Skia. We are being tormented by an evil shadow has fallen over my town."
I do an insight check.
Yeah. Insight, Doth.
Malcolm, I really think that it's like our D&D Beyond
It's
like campaign, because it is just, it's crazy slow. But if you go to a different campaign,
it rolls fine, right? Yeah, it's like maybe I should just start a new one. I don't know what it is, or that's why I say you're welcome to roll real dice to get. I've stopped rolling when I play with you.
It just like sits there.
I've just stopped. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's maybe too much. I haven't. It's not like I put a lot in that campaign or put a lot of information in there.
I don't know either. But
maybe I need to clear. Maybe I don't know if it's. I don't know how the data's shared. I don't know if I need to maybe clear my cache or something. Like I don't know what's. I'll try that tonight. I don't. But I mean, it also does on my bronze beliefs. Like whenever I roll, it's extremely slow. It used to be really fast.
Yeah.
Now I've just been rolling real dice.
Well, if we can nail it down, I'm sure they would appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, I get it, and hopefully things. Who knows if things are gonna get better or worse once Wizards takes over on Wednesday.
Yeah. Like here or there, I got a 7, so
7.
I moved to Believer, I guess, but I don't really have time to deal with that problem right now.
Yeah, I think that's how you rationalize it. I'll give you for the because your first insight is really just about believing her. I'll give you another insight check, Doth. I'll give yours advantage, and I'll give everyone else a regular insight. So insight for everyone, but Doth gets advantage on this. Since he was the first one to bring up insight. So this is insight for a different reason. This is not about believing her necessarily.
4.
Okay. Dang!
8.
Yeah. Well, okay. Calyx ain't a smart guy, but sort of.
I picture that I'm just like bugging Calyx with what's that?
Yeah, they're just like talking, like they're like no one's paying
I
attention.
have no idea.
And this is clearly why no one's paying attention to this lady. Like,
Yeah. We're just talking, being like, dude, like this is like he hasn't been to Akros in forever, so we're both just like, dude. But like, kind of, he's just sort of, or Calyx like might be looking for a jeweler, even the long shot, but looking for a jeweler.
Doth, what'd you get on that last?
17.
17, and then I think Alcides got 18.
No, I got an 8 because I
An
got
8,
a 4.
okay.
And I got a +4, so.
So Doth, as you're thinking about it, and you're like, you know what, whether she's lying or not, or who, we don't really, have time for this. Then you start to listen to what she's actually saying, and talking about this shadow that's fallen over her village, and how this spirit haunts it every night. And that's why people aren't really listening, because what soldiers are gonna like? It's not like who's gonna really go and look for him. It sounds like a ghost story, but the way she describes at one point just in passing this shadow spirit that has enveloped her village, Askia, you remember Doth long ago when you were on your way to Oreskos. You remember the box that you all opened. And you remember this kind of black smoke rising out of it and this voice saying, "Free at last," before this kind of sinister whisper as this spirit went flying off into the night. Could this be the same shadow?
Oh yeah, we totally did that shit.
All right, I'll put a mental pin on that.
Yep. So now you know. Yeah, that's what it calls back. So I don't know if he shares that with the party or keeps it to himself because no one's paying attention.
Doth shares it. Galaxy just give me like, yeah, we did that. That's good times. Good times.
No, actually, I think I'm going to keep that one under my hat.
Okay, and then so Alcides and Doth both have that piece of information because you rolled high enough as well, Alcides.
An 8 was high enough?
Oh, sorry. For some reason, I keep saying you said 18. No, so Doth is the only one that has this information. So Doth is going to hold on to that, and that's that. So we're moving on, and that moment kind of passes. So if the party's prepared to head out, you can. If there's more to do in the city, you can do that as well. I'll turn it back over to you all.
Felix, what type of familiar were you planning on summoning?
He summoned a mockingbird. I just used the stats of an owl. But
I'd like to go to this magic shop over here, see if they had like a small scroll tube we could tie to the leg to send messages with.
okay.
I'll get one for me too. That way we have some way of communicating.
We could be bird bros.
Sure.
As the party draws close to the shop, you see, entering that same square as you kind of passed away. If you can hear the woman, she for a moment there, she even stops as people kind of continue to walk and ride by her. And you do notice a man who just happens to be kind of crossing your path, a satyr. His horns kind of curled back, his very tanned skin, his handsome features, green eyes, hair kind of slicked back, dressed fancifully like he makes decent coin, and literally has at least 6 human bodyguards. They are dressed like hoplites, but they do not bear the red crest of TEHROS. They clearly are more mercenaries, and their colors are more muted. They don't even have breastplates, just chests are out, loincloths, that kind of thing. Short swords, no spears, and shields on their back.
Strippers.
And so, as they walk by, one of them bumps into Calyx, and it's the satyr. Kind of looks at you and he goes, "Huh," and he doesn't give a sneer or anything. Hands come up fully covered in beautiful rings. I should probably watch where I'm going, but
I was going to shift into what he looks like.
Oh, you're going to change in front of his eyes?
Yeah, mask from Raikira to him just drop 2 feet, and just kind of being like,
"You're going to turn to a return?" Or
no,
turn?
Dude,
Okay,
turn
you don't want to do that in TEHROS.
No. Into the guy.
You'll get everybody murdered. Alcides is gonna have to stand down.
Yeah.
Once you transform, Nazar's gonna go, "Whoa!"
And so now I'm just kind of copying him.
An illusionist. Does he look? So he looks like this guy. This
yeah,
lady.
I look like this guy. Yeah.
Some of the guys gonna. It's magic illusion. I can maybe use someone.
Just curious.
Just curious.
Calyx, check your pockets.
I am no petty thief. I am Barrelmon, and I run great shows of spectacle here in the city on the off time. And you all look like a proper adventure type, champion type. So, and he just kind of pulls a little tiny scroll out, hands it to Calyx, and goes, if the illusion is nice, if you can do more than that, my shows are suited a little bit more towards brawn and combat. And when you kind of roll it out, it's pretty much like a old little scroll business card. It says Barrelmon on it. and his services, and he pretty much tells you that right now in the Temple of Triumph, their Colosseum or their arena, they are holding. Anyone can show up every day right now. They're holding these combat scenarios, and you can choose your range of difficulty from it being, easy challengers to hard. And based on if you can best them, whichever party can best the other, they receive, whoever wins receives a prize, one prize per entry, and there's no cost to you because he gets the pay, he gets the crowd, the money from the crowd. We don't pack out the house, but it's a good time. People need to be entertained. Spirits need to be uplifted in these tough times.
Yeah, especially with that dragon about.
You should. Yeah, the dragon. Let's not talk about dragons here, Necros. We have a bad history of dragons, but don't let me hold you. If you...
Well, I actually do have a question. You look like someone that might, in the fancier arts, so you look like you got a lot of fancy shit. I'm looking for fancy shit.
I've done my fair share of buying fancy things. Are you looking for fancy things, or are you looking to sell?
Well, I'm looking for like a gem, like a jeweler. Someone that can put stuff into this, and he pulls out the gem from Elysia.
Interesting. That looks quite fanciful. He kind of reaches out to want to grab it.
Back into his hand.
Okay. You're looking for a gem. I can get you gems if you have the coin to pay for the gem you want. You want a gem like that? Is that it?
I have a gem like this. I want to put this, and he pops out the undead eye in here.
Interesting. You're going to need some sorcery or some witchery for that, and a lot of levels of that there's only certain unless they're being done by the Caliphon or the flame speakers, and everyone Alcides knows the flame speakers to be the mages who kind of worship Perforos, who are all about the old Acheron way. You've definitely met the right gentleman. Here's what you do. Keep my card, and when I find the right person for you, you'll know. The card will do something special. It'll let you know, and it will tell you where to meet me at that time. But I will say, if we meet, I'll be prepared to pay what my services are worth. Pretty pissed.
I'm willing to give you this gem, which is priceless, for something measly 200-300 gold worth of gem.
Yeah. I don't need to hold on to your gem. I'll just tell you when I find the person who can put that eye in the gem. Would you like me to hold on to it for safekeeping?
I just met you, man. Like, this is my life savings here.
Exactly. No worries. Then...
But you are very good looking. Bravo.
I try. It's a combination of only being the sun certain hours of the day, right spices, oils. I won't
try it. My skin gets really ashy,
You have to visit the bathhouse a number of times. Look at this fellow. He looks at the Minotaur Doth and he goes, "This looks like a gentleman who likes to date. Just try it sometime." Illusions can't do it all. I smelled you coming around the corner.
Like, kind of offended, but like, fair enough.
I'm
did lose
giving you a hard time. Even though in his mind he's like, there is something off about the smell of this gentleman.
It's just stench reeks of death.
Yeah.
Yeah, the return to sweat.
It's like, what kind of...
That's what I was like. What does he smell?
But I never caught your name.
It's that kind of stuff that never makes sense when you think about, like, for example, zombies. Like when you watch shows like Walking Dead, they're like sweating in like Atlanta heat. Like, how are these zombies, even if they could move
That's
around,
the
how
thing.
did
Is
the
they
muscles not?
evaporate in no time.
By month 2, they're all just like laying on the ground, just done.
Yeah. They're jello at that point.
Where are the muscles
The
moving?
last Resident Evil actually did that with their zombies, where
Yeah.
I guess the zombies were just all gross, like dried out and unable to move.
Like, how do they even stand, lift up their weight, let alone? But
Quantum.
yep. And so he says, well, he's gonna look into it, and you get a feeling. You want to give me an insight check? It's always fair. Or
If he's lying to me, no. But if
but you get the feeling that this is a man of he knows many people, and he seems to be he's one of those people that when you meet him strikes you as shady, but shady in the way that is his job, to move things, get things for people. That
through all of this, he's gonna just be like, if you ever need my sort of services, and just sort of like does the illusionist and kind of distracting him and just trying to grab something off of him.
Okay. This is a smart guy for many years, but yeah, go ahead, and you are a really good illusionist, so you want to give me an advantage stealth sleight of hand
Sounds
for
good.
his perception.
21.
30-20. Okay. And so you are as he kind of you shake hands, you're able to slip the ring off of his pinky finger. And it's not the most adorned, but it's mostly like it's like a solid gold band. And he goes, well, we should keep moving. We have the games to attend to. You all enjoy. And
I'm sorry, I think you dropped something. And he like picks up this thing. He's like, don't want to lose your ring. It seems like a really nice ring.
Sneaky devil, sorcery and quick hands. He pats you on the, he goes, I may kind of like both hands, goes, I may have use for you yet. And he hands your ring back to you. Kevin, perception check from you.
Actually, no. I'm just gonna. If it is what I think, I rolled a 10. But if he's trying to do something to me, I'm just gonna miss it.
You rolled a 10. 10 is what you got. Okay.
But if he's trying to steal something off me, I'm not gonna catch it.
Okay. And so as he goes that, he kind of slides hands away, and you're holding the thing. As he slips away, you see that his other hand, as he walks away, you see he's trailing, and like whatever your belt thing is that holds your trousers up, your pants just drop in front of everyone. He goes, toodaloo.
You see like the pants drop away from the illusion, and you're like, it's like,
yeah. So it's weird. It's like shifting. It's like something's wrong.
Yeah.
You feel your pants down, but the image doesn't change. But you feel them. Like he just like grabs at his. Actually, doesn't wear pants. It's like your little loin. Like underneath, you have that like leather loincloth. That thing kind of falls down. Yeah.
That's good.
Sorry, he's gonna look at Kalex and he's gonna look down and he's gonna look back up and you go, does this happen when you like somebody?
Pantsless is a good option. Very breathable. Like doesn't provide the best defense, but you should try it. It's solid.
I prefer my robes.
Yeah, no, me too.
As you guys are talking and entering inside, I imagine Doth leading the way through the beats, a little dark.
Children are dying as we're goofing around.
Room. Out walks a middle-aged woman who seems like she's, well off for herself. Her white hair, kind of black and white hair, salt and peppered hair, back in kind of a little bun. She comes out from the back behind some more like kind of beaded a room there and goes, fellows, come in. How can I help you? Don't offer much. What you see is what you get. And behind you on the wall behind this wooden desk are, scrolls sitting on little wooden holders. Each of them like just like little scrolls, just wrapped tight, nice and neat, and they have ranges of costs. And she goes over here, and there's a list. So for each one, 50 gold, ranging from 50 to 100 to 175. Doth, I will send you the list so that I don't have to ramble it all out. Give me 1 second here. Actually, they range all the way to... Prices are a little different in Acro, so give me 1 second here.
I'm going to give 45 gold to Doth, 45 to Calyx, and then 10 for Nazari out of that 100.
Sorry, won't know the difference. He'll be happy. Thank you, my friend.
I'm doing it based on what this pay us for. I guess the total journey.
All right, so
Trust me, I'm happy just to get.
I mean, I'll just send it to everyone in the chat, but since it's more specifically for Doth, who's buying spells, who probably wants to be buying spell scrolls, but there you go. So those are the names of spells for 50 gold versus 100 gold versus 175 versus 350 versus 800. So some of them are intensely overpriced, but they are. That's what you see.
Modify memory.
At this point, I'm actually looking for a scroll case as small as you have.
A scroll case?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
2.
Hi. Plenty of scroll cases.
Very, very, very small.
Very small scroll case.
Yes.
She
Like
reaches
you
down.
would, tie to a passenger pigeon.
Ah, yes, I can give you one of those. And she brings this nice little leather scroll case. Kind of flips open. She says, "Is that small enough?"
I think so.
Silver piece.
Need a
2 of those. 2.
2 of those and sheets of paper.
Some sheets of paper. She hands you those for 2 silver pieces. She has a ream of paper, like a kind of rolled up ream of paper for that you could probably. That would actually. Let's see. What's this? Let me see. She probably sells them in 10 sheets for 1 gold. And she starts to talk about how finely crafted the paper, and it's made by the actual, those who use it for spell casting in Melitus, whether this is real or not. She's kind of pumping up the quality of just paper.
I think I need something that's oiled.
An oiled sheet of paper? Yes. I might have some paper that has been. Let me go in the back, and she goes and see her thing seems pretty sparse. See the chances of her having it. There's a 40% chance she has it. Let's see. And rolling on D&D Beyond in slow motion.
Malcolm,
Yes.
your face froze.
Yeah, no, D&D. That's D&D Beyond freezing me there for a second, so that's why I don't roll on there anymore. It just literally just takes everything out of my system. So she does actually have a 5-pack of scrolls that have that nice, like they've been oiled.
I really just need like 1 sheet of paper that I
One sheet? Okay.
Strips.
1 copper piece for that 1 sheet. She hands it over.
This is sort of a meta question, but could I use fabricate to make the gem with the undead eye?
To make it look like it's an undead eye?
To make the gem into, or could I do that? Could I do that?
Let me look at the fabricate really quick here.
Why don't you just get like, I don't know, stone shape the stone.
Like most of the time it specifies that it can't be used for arcane components, but fabricate doesn't.
Well, you're not creating it. I'm sorry, you're not making the stone. You're just changing the shape, right? All I gotta do is stick an eyeball onto it. Back.
It's true.
Yeah, you convert
Nothing
raw
says it has to be
materials
pretty,
into
but I can
products,
try
same
that.
material. For example, you can fabricate wood bridge from a clump of trees, a rope from a patch of hemp. But yeah, you're not. I don't. From raw materials you can use within range, you fabricate a large or small object. Given sufficient quality.
What you want is to fabricate a ball that you can screw together, so it's empty, and then you put the thing inside, and then you screw it together, and there you go.
That is what you do. I'm probably gonna make you because Doth is full of these ideas. You'll probably make a wisdom check to see if you could actually figure out to make that.
Yeah. Spending all this time around Doth. Or do you want me to make a wisdom check for it?
If that's what you're actually trying to do, then yes, give me a wisdom.
8.
Okay, no, you haven't figured that out yet.
Nope.
So yeah, Doth is so far purchasing. I don't know if there's anything else you need here.
Good.
Yeah, I got my guy. I got my guy.
Yeah, he's working on
I
it.
also have Phoenix, but like he's kind of scaring me. So you know.
I don't know if it's in party's interest to see if she has any like healing potions or disposable healing magic of any sort.
Healing potions. Yes, yes. Normally she tells you should go across the street. You can get them there, but I do have a couple here. They're my personals, but yeah, let me get those. She pulls out a little tray, and she's got potion of animal friendship. She's digging in the tray. Potion of climbing. Potion of healing. Here we go. I've got healing and greater healing. My healings are, I give you those for 50 gold. The greater's 250.
I'll use the 45 and some of my reserves to pick up one of the healing ones.
One of the
Alex can like plop the pomegranate on the table.
You still have that?
Yes, it is quite delicious. Why wouldn't I get rid of it? It's not rotting. Yes. And like he's using minor illusion to make it look like it's not rotting.
Yeah.
Do you have any perfume or incense we might purchase as well?
She goes, you guys, yeah, I'm usually just scrolls, but again, if you're willing to buy, she pulls out
pomegranate. Alcie's gonna look for the flint.
She has one bottle of perfume that she'll sell for a gold piece.
Is it a la
I
lasagna?
feel amazing.
I toss the perfume to Alex.
You've all been great customers. I appreciate it. Yes. Anything else you can find, all general supplies you can find here in the circle. You can find wares, but anything else?
Is there a cartographer?
There, you probably could find one out here in the marketplace, and she kind of tells you where. And what are you looking to have? Are you looking for someone to go with you and to map TEHROS?
I'm looking for a map.
For a particular map. Of where are you looking for? Particular part of TEHROS?
Yes, but I doubt very much you'd have any interest in it whatsoever.
Okay, yeah. Well,
If it's a map of Scophos, might have to go get one from the military. Like, hey, we need one of them classified Scophos maps.
yeah.
That's exactly.
Scoville's one of those places that, like, literally, like, almost.
I didn't
going
want to bring it up
have.
or even like have it come back to us. So.
She goes, a map of that place. No, I don't. I wouldn't know where you'd find one. Those are.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Oh, you didn't even bring it up. Got it.
For Scophos, just a cartographer.
Just of where?
Just a cartographer. Somebody.
Okay, just cartographer. She kind of like points you to like the square where there's like a guy out there that works on them and has them like in a couple baskets of different places around TEHROS. Yeah.
Just all the maps that are labeled Scophos. You open it up, it's how to get Scophos.
And then there, once you get there, it's like you're on your own.
I know, but if we were to make a map, we'd want a place to sell it, right?
I'm pretty sure the
Exactly.
military would pay good coin for that.
Yeah,
I'm in agreement with you. Yes.
I like that. Yeah, fair. Um,
Yeah.
okay. So the party leaves there, and unless they are staying around to fight any of the games or to talk to the lady or do anything else here that you might see on Legend Keeper, I imagine are they headed to their horses?
Go to one of the other stores to see what the prices are for their potions.
For their potions, they are going to be roughly 5 to 10 golds cheaper,
Perfect.
depending on the potion. Are you buying any potions from another store?
Check my gold. Probably should have bought potions. Actually, would they even have had potions in Melitus based on the plague?
They did. They just don't work for the plague. They have like healing potions galore. They just weren't working for that plague.
Okay, because probably could have gotten a big discount over there based on our renown. Hindsight 2020.
Yeah.
So if you're buying, like for example, if you're looking for a healing potion, it'd be 45. It'll be 5 cheaper. If the greater healing potion, you find it for 240.
Okay. I'll buy 3 regular healing potions.
Okay, 40 gold pieces. Fair enough. Or 45 each.
Yep.
So you've collected those.
While they're all buying healing potions, Cal's gonna like look and walk towards a blacksmith, assuming got to be dime a dozen here.
Mm-hmm. Ton of different places. Ding! Ding's like working on.
He's gonna
bringing out weapons. Mm-hmm.
look in or turn into like Sildren, a druid, someone who wouldn't use a big great sword, summon his great sword and make it look as fancy as possible, and walk up and I'm looking to get rid of this weapon.
Which weapon are you bringing to them? To this?
My packed weapon, the great sword that I can just summon back to me.
Oh. Got it.
Yeah.
What can I help you with? This is, one of the blacksmiths who's just finished working on something, a glaive that he's put up.
I have a friend who he loves his spear. He fights with a spear. And if you have some sort of something that just looks like it's more of a gift than anything, but I'm willing to trade you this for a beautiful spear, please.
Let me see. This is a fine weapon.
Thank you. Made it myself.
Is it cursed?
Do I look cursed?
I don't know. He goes, he smells the blade, closes his eyes. He speaks to it. Are you cursed? Give me persuasion check.
Persuasion? All right.
Yep.
I gotta check if I have like.
Or you can do performance, whatever you're.
Either way, not one.
Oh shit! You would have beat. You would have literally beat this guy on anything other than it. He literally rolled a 2. The guy rolled a 2. He has no modifier. He just.
Cal's like whispers is like, no, it's not cursed, but it's coming from the weapon.
No thanks. Something about this is a bit off.
Fair enough. And he summons it back to his hand.
I actually wanted you to do that move because I know everybody always talks about doing it.
No, I
literally rolled a 2. You rolled a 1. No, thank you, but no thank you, sir. That is not a blade I want to keep here in the shop.
Fair enough. It'll work one of these times. I'm gonna walk off. Kind of mad.
Well, and so do they set off, or do they? And if so, are we going directly to Scophos? Are there any pit stops along the way? I know Aronis is, priority, but just making sure because it seems like they're just trying to make sure they are prepared as possible. So wondering what else they might do. Other than that, they can depart.
If we get to Scophos, do we want to bring somebody that can fly the chariot back and come pick us up, or do we try and manage the chariot, park it in a how long does rope trick last for? 8 hours?
1 hour.
Yeah.
They could buy someone to, hire someone to go with them. Most people will probably be terrified unless you find like some decent mercenary who's willing to pilot.
And how far out of the way is that? That's like way the hell over.
If we actually go out of here and go to
LCDs, do you know anyone here that can fly a chariot?
Alcides, you want to roll me a history check to see who you might know?
History. Pretty sure I'm proficient in history. Nope.
Just looking for a DC 10.
Well, I got an 18, so.
Okay. So,
I was gonna say, what is it? Proxinos' little brother. I know because he's good with a chariot, regular one.
Yeah, he could fly it. I don't know if he's gonna want to do it. You do also know him, and then you also know that there's like a kind of an old tavern or drinking spot where an old veteran that maybe knew your father or likes to hold up, and he did time with the Acroian soldiers, but like during like a war where they were fighting with both the Melitus guards, he learned how to fly with Pegasi, and that soldier, that old gruff, might be willing to take on. He's a hard which I will allow you to name him since he's somebody you know from your past. But he's going to be an older gentleman. He's probably going to be a veteran. He's going to be a veteran guard. Is probably what his stats would be. And instead of role playing, I would make you tell me what you would tell him, and maybe a persuasion if that's what you want to do. He might require some sort of pay, or maybe as an adventurer pay for whatever you find in Scophos if he's willing to go. But that's up to you.
Cool. Let me just look up Greek names real quick.
So when we get there, we like fly around, get everybody's attention, land, wait for people to come to us, beat up whoever decides to attack us, try and get information from them. If we can get information from them, then head in that direction. Try to take out whoever is, holding the kid hostage, and have you guys like sneak in and grab him, get him to the chariot, get him the heck out of there.
Okay.
It's the general plan.
Plan is set. All right. So do you want
Nikos?
Mikos? All right, let me make a note of it. Mikos is going to be our 45-year-old veteran hoplite Akros, who also pilots.
Just for the record, I have absolutely no faith that this plan will work in any way, shape, or form.
Hey, you trusted Calix to fly it.
No. I'm just saying that we were going to get there. We're going to find out. We have to go into the dungeon. There's going to be no way to fly or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's why I want to leave. Somebody with a chariot.
Makes sense.
Probably
the last time Calix
drop
flew
us
it,
off here.
Stop.
Yeah.
Fly back every day or like every other day, just like at this time, and if we're not there within like 10 minutes, dip, and then just kind of give them like a schedule until we return. And then like if it's been like 2 months and we haven't returned, you can have the horse and stuff. Yeah.
Mikos hears this plan. You talking to them here midday, and he's like, God knows I've actually been itching for an adventure. I'm bored here drinking every day.
I mean, what I would introduce the plan as to him, like before even planning, because I was just I was out of character talking about what the plan was.
Yeah.
So then what I would say to him would be like, how would you like to fly again?
I would love to, but no one around here in TEHROS really has any flying horses, and I don't like the uppity bastards in Melitus.
Well, lucky for you, we were just gifted 2 magnificent Pegasi.
Oh my god.
Interesting. Well,
if Calix wanted to do that.
Yeah, no, Calix is totally doing the voice and like light shining behind all of us, just jazz hands.
And I get to fly these how often?
Every day.
I think you might have yourself a deal, sir. How long as you help me with, you're good for it with your ration. I mean, with your pay, with your military pay, help cover my lodgings. I'd be happy to, throw me a couple gold coins here and there when I need it. But to be honest with you, I'll tell you, for the first week, just to get back in the saddle and the swing of things, I'll do it for free. 1 week for free.
Best I could do is this pomegranate.
No drinking and flying.
He goes, that's a pretty looking pomegranate. He grabs it and
Don't
takes
eat
it. Oh, he's like, oh, it's delicious. And I think he needs to make a save. Do you have the stats I need to pull the pomegranate up?
Yeah,
Oh, we finally get to see what happens.
oh no, I know what happened. It was just DC 10 wisdom save.
The DC 10?
And then if you fail it, then
you keep eating, right?
you
got a
keep eating
15.
15? Okay, then he stops.
So he's like, it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I know, it's Cal's like, last time he ate it, he wanted to like stay in the underworld forever. And he's like, yeah, no, it's a really good pomegranate.
Well, he stops. The thing is, he's just holding to it, and you give somebody a fruit, they don't like give it back for you to share. So while he's not devouring it, he's going to finish it. How does Calix try to get this thing, or does he let him keep it? Does he?
No, he lets it keep it, but just kind of like stares at him like.
Because if he continues to eat it, he continues to have to test. Correct?
If he keeps eating it, but it should be going bad pretty soon.
Okay.
So, but Callis is like looking at him just like, this guy is not a regular person. He is a god amongst men. He ate the pomegranate that made me want to die.
Great, now he's gonna want to crash the chariot.
If he keeps eating it.
Alcides will make the comment. Calix, how long have you had that pomegranate from? Is that the one you got from the trader?
Yeah.
What trader?
Oh, okay. So when he makes the save, he realizes it's draining his life. It says it here. So he'd be like, mm. Like a minute after eating, he's like, that's really good. He goes, oh, he kind of gets woozy for a second. He's like, oh.
Way better than wine, right?
Maybe it's the wine. Maybe I'll just stick to heavy booze and meats. Yeah, haven't had fruit in a long time. Maybe that's it. And he's like, well, when do we set off? Because I gotta hit the old head here. I gotta go. It's just like he runs into like the outhouse outside. Or there's like a general, like in that kind of Greek style, shared, uniform stone toilets, and he just runs out there to just blow it up. That pomegranate like churned his insides there.
Should really stop offering this pomegranate.
Yeah. I'll pay off his bar tab.
So we kind of fast forward to where he's finally gotten things together. Maybe 30 minutes later, 20 minutes later, you guys are getting your horses ready to go, and you're all prepared to take it to set off. And as you all load up to some degree on this, large chariot, it's a lot tighter now with Nikos in there. And he goes, "All right, fellas, well, let's get to going." You can still smell a little of the booze on his breath as the horses start, like these Pegasi start flying. And you get up like 100 feet, and then he pitches left really hard, and like everybody's like, "Oh shit!" Like almost like spills over the side. He pitches right the second way. You can tell he has not done this a long time, but eventually he levels off, and you
I was
start
like ready to cast fly on him and Nazari, and just being like,
And all you see is Nazari going, "Whee!"
There's a moment there where you felt you might have made a bad decision, but he levels it out, and like those inherent skills start coming back to him, and he starts flying more confidently. And as you fly, you end up passing over. You actually even see going north at the base of close to the area where the mountain, where Velos is, you can see a small village there, which Alcides knows to be that village of Skia. You also see that as you travel, well, that's what I wanted to mention here. You would see.
Do you see a shadow hanging over it?
Yeah, you don't see anything strange about it other than there's like the sky is kind of dark in that area, but you would also see just the Badlands are kind of a rough, dour looking place, and to the left you can see far off in the distance the Death Bellow canyons, where minotaurs roam, and then to your left you can see the Ashlands, and the Ashlands are the last site of where Mount Velos erupted and destroyed all of that place. And so even down high from above, from the clouds, every now and then as you're passing by the Ashlands, you can see skeletal figures walking around, ashen-covered skeletons, like we're just wandering. And you see these flying humanoid creatures that look like they're made of magma that kind of fly around like imps, that every now and then swoop down to eat piles of, look like they may be feeding on ash down there. But you continue on and you fly, and within a few hours, as the clouds part, you can see Scophos coming into view. Now,
I was gonna say, before leaving,
yes,
I want to speak to the military commanders to tell them, hey, I'm in a Crowan and I'm about to head to Scophos, because that's something they might want to know.
Okay.
And then B, tell them the information about the dragon.
Okay.
And its proximity and how it just ate a manticore the night before.
Noted. So that has been noted by the military people that you talked to. And
Callus is going to go with him, just scanning the room and seeing if there's like someone that's super high up, and just getting down everything about it. Just future disguise.
If you were allowed to enter in the first place.
Yeah,
that's
gets
true.
like, Alcides is kind of like mid-level, so you would probably see, someone of a decent spec. Yeah, I don't even really think you'd be allowed to go in. It would just be Alcides, so I don't think you'd see, other than seeing like guards and hoplites on the street, you wouldn't see anyone that he knows inside there. So that's noted. They now have that information, and they basically tell Alcides that their intelligence will look into it, and they are aware that the dragon is in fact alive and not dead, but they have not seen any sightings, so it's good to know that. And as you approach the airspace around Scophos, you know this to be this is the place that's at the western edge of the Acroian territory. It's a region of arid canyons and caverns called Phoberos, and it's a land of harsh natural whims. There are haunted, ravenous monsters. There are fierce bands of minotaurs that haunt these badlands that have done this for centuries. There are brutal marauders, and this polis is a place where minotaurs have taken over this, and very few humans reside here, and has a reputation for just being for those who survive are bloodthirsty brutes. And Scophos is it's ancient. A handful of humans you've heard of have even beheld it, and hardly any have successfully navigated or to come back to tell their story. And so what you do see as you're flying in is like a large cavernous, like a mountain-like structure. Strangely, like what Doth was saying, it does look like you can fly around it as much as you like. You don't see any like scary creatures flying around it, but it is huge. It is sprawling. It feels like two entire Akros and Meletis could fit inside this place, and it feels like it has almost like 3 tiers to it: the upper level, the secondary level, and then the base of it is literally a canyon maze. And as much as you look over it as you fly around it with the clouds and everything, it's still very difficult to try to map out how you move through it. And from your distance, what you can even tell is the halls of each structure, like canyon valleys, have holes. And like, let's say if I'm in a maze and then there's a wall here on that side, you can tell that there are like landings like of stairs and caves and structures that lead into each place. So
it's not just walls, it's also like arches.
Exactly, arches. And you can tell that there are levels where the ground is like buckled, and so where things were even, it might be a point where a wall from an earthquake shifted, so now the platform is 100 feet up from where it was before. It's a very interesting place to behold. So that's what you see. And as you plan, but what you can see is the opening, or the official opening. You can see the opening of the mouth of the structure. You don't see many safe spaces to land on the upper levels of it, though you could approach from the upper levels. I mean, like, maybe you could be dropped off. There are safe places to land, but I'm sure you all have the concerns of like your Pegasi could be eaten or whatever. So it's like landing, and how long would you keep them there, right? But you could kind of go in from the top. You could approach it from the front way in. But I'm sure that's a conversation for you all. And what we'll do here is, for the sake of time and planning, we'll take a 5-minute break, and then we'll enter, or do what you guys want to do here at Scoffles.
Let's go for the main entrance, baby.
Woo! I got a couple of ideas. One, bag of copper coins. Like every 100 feet or so, scratch like Roman numeral under it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically, just like drop them as we fly along every 100 feet, so we can locate object on them in the future in order to find our way through.
Someone doesn't pickpocket them.
Somebody will take them.
Either way, it's a copper piece. You can make it nice and dirty. Drop it. But so yeah, do that just like through as we fly through. So we've sort of got like a grid that we can reference at a later point. Try to take down all like the main features that we can see from the air. In particular, note the location of the sun and the shadows in relationship to directions. So the shadows at this time are going this way, so we know that way is north. That sort of thing. Let's think from the bad guy's perspective. If they haven't like killed and eaten the kid, they probably took him to a higher up. So maybe the mid-level would be a good place to start.
As far as we know, he hasn't been captured. Like he's
hiding.
Yeah, he's been fighting them off.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, then he's probably not in the higher levels then, because you'd have to make it all the way up there, or get taken up there. One of the two. So I say we go to like the dead middle and work our way out from there. Just start off lost.
Alcides will also make the comment to Doth, be like, "You think all the other Minotaurs will be as intelligent and hospitable as you?"
Hell no. Why do you think I left?
Fair enough.
Now, basically, you ever been in a bar fight?
I do not drink, but I've been in pancration matches.
So imagine that times a nation. Basically, it's a physics contest.
I'm sure Alcides in his years of military service has fought against Minotaurs. That's why he's a little iffy about you joining the party at first.
See, I'm personally terrified at this point. Just thinking back to the fight that happened between Calix and Doth. Just like, yeah, no Minotaurs. No Minotaurs.
Well, that's why we did the fight, so you know what to expect.
You didn't have to go that hard. Like, I was pulling my punches. Totally wasn't just missing.
I was too.
Just like, you just see like all the color go away from his face. Just like, oh god.
Well, okay, things to remember. They need 20 feet in order to be able to charge. When they do charge, they're probably going to slam you to the ground. So if we can avoid that by getting on higher ground or limiting their ability to move, that would definitely be a good thing to do. Generally assume that they're going to be able to enrage. So stuff like charms and things like that probably aren't going to work. Anything that requires like a wisdom save or whatnot, it's probably going to be able to be overcome. If you got spells, aim for using ones that affect intelligence, most likely. Charisma is probably fairly low.
The only thing that targets people is suggestion. Just stop. That's all. Yeah.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So with the disguise capabilities, we could probably pretend to be the last group that we ran into and like, you know, get into a fight with the next one, run away, and then like have them go at each other.
Yeah.
Do we think we're going through the top, middle, or starting at the base level? Did you guys decide on that? Because that'll help me with my approach for.
I'll suggest that starting at the middle, then instead of work our way up, but I would say it'd be better to start at the bottom, just because that's where Aronius probably would have entered from.
That makes sense.
Unless he got like magically teleported there somehow.
Right.
But you said you just kind of got lost there, so.
So there's another thing that we could try, and that's detecting good as opposed to detecting evil. I'm assuming that your kid is probably not evil, so detecting good might be a way to try and narrow down the search path.
I don't think I got detect good and evil.
Scary part is I don't know if you'd have enough of the range to.
Yeah.
It'll be a crapshoot of just where you do it, most likely, as large as the place is.
That's why you go sorcerer, extend spell, extend spell, extend spell, extend spell.
Well, what I kind of wanted to do was to like fly across the maze area, dropping copper coins with numbers scratched on the back, like every 100 feet or so.
Okay.
This is so I could in the future theoretically use locate object spell to try and locate them.
Okay. So just sprinkling them off as you're kind of flying back and forth, just dropping them in between the cannons.
Not sprinkling as opposed to like creating a grid.
Okay.
Just to give us a reference position.
How many of those? I mean, it's just like I'm just trying to realistic think how many copper coins are you carrying to be able to do that for more than like a couple city blocks of these.
Yeah,
these
that's my question. How big is this place?
So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not trying. So the way I see Scovos is those, like you see behind me, each one of those walls, they're like if you're standing down in between them, they're as tall as buildings. They're not like a normal maze where you're like walking. They
Okay, well,
literally are valleys in between, kind of carved in the rock. It's almost like a god came through and carved this maze,
when
and
you say
you would
when you
just be
say
ants living.
buildings, can you be more specific as to what particular type of building? We're talking skyscraper, one-story house, hovel.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm thinking, yeah, I wouldn't say skyscraper, but I would think probably that first level are probably several stories. I'd probably say 6 stories high, which is still pretty. They're pretty high up there. So when you're standing there, that's what I say. It almost feels like you're standing in when you're standing in the maze, the maze that you see above you as you're flying it. From down below, when you see people or creatures moving around in it, it's almost like standing in a canyon valley, right? Like, because the walls, even though they've been cut out of rock, they clearly were at some point were just natural formations. And so that makes it so each, like, if you stand on one of those ledges, like if for example one of the top of the walls, let's say you land there, you wouldn't just be able to peer over both sides. You literally are standing on a large, expansive, that, like, we could have a combat on one of the just one of the tops of the walls.
Can you walk across like the entirety of the wall for the most part in order to get from one place to the next without having to go into the canyon?
It looks like you can, but then again, the place also looks like walls have shifted and changed. So, remember also D&D there's also going to be a part of this that even if you can, yeah, you're going to be making survival and intelligence based checks to navigate it regardless because of just how expansive it is.
To start with, let's look for any place that has like a smoke or a cooking fire or something like that coming up from it. Start there.
Okay.
Maybe we can get information from whoever happens to be at that camp and proceed from there.
Calix, do you remember that Minotaur King you got struck by lightning?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Did you say that in character or just meta right now?
No, just like I remember, like, not in character, but like, oh yeah. He was a good guy,
What are
He
you
made the right decision with the god, but then the other god didn't like him. Anyways.
Made him abandon Keranos, and Keranos is petty.
Yeah. He's only explained in Nazari what happened and just being like, yeah, so there was a guy, he was really lost, just meant like, and he just needed some inspiration. So obviously I did what I could. I brought him in, we led him down the path of Phoenix, and then Keranos just really just did not appreciate what I was doing. And
Calix, before you continue, you do remember you were the only one that found the body.
no, I thought we all found the body.
Yeah, I thought we all walked across the body.
No, we walked across a different body, and we were fighting the snake. But the Minotaur's body was way off, and only Calix found it, and he kind of buried it under some mud.
Oh, well, it's all coming out now.
Alex, it sounds like it doesn't sound like you forced him down that path, right?
I didn't force him down any path. I guided him
Walk
towards the
that path
light of.
yourself, yes.
Yeah, he was good for about maybe an hour.
Hey, Calix, just out of curiosity, do you remember the instructions that you got in the path of Phoenix? Were there any, or are you just making this up as you go?
Mix of both.
Okay. Well, what does your god say about this current situation? What's his interest in this whole thing?
Calix can like plunge his sword down in the ground and start praying, and then look up and he says, "Told me to fuck off."
Okay, well, we can do that for sure.
What's up? Yeah. He's a little mad, but it's fine.
Nazari, how's your relationship with your higher being?
Well, it's built on a lot of faith because you don't hear much back. But I do what I can to help him, and I hope to help him end his labor one day.
Was he going to be pissed off for anything that we're doing here?
There'll be plenty of funerals, that is for sure.
That is exactly what I was thinking, my friend. I hope he understands that in the little bad that I did help with, I could make more good in the mortal realm.
And Alcides, you're in good standing, I would assume.
I'm sure Aroas will be looking down favorably upon my battles.
All right then. Well, if we get separated, get a fire, put something on the fire to make smoke. Cover the fire up once the smoke starts to rise, and then uncover it so that there's a gap between the smoke as it billows up.
Yep.
Do this 3 times, and if we're separated, keep your eyes to the sky. Look for a signal, head in that direction.
I'm gonna pull out my regular flint and then my special flint, and say, "Does anyone else need a flint? I have 2."
Yes, I will need it.
I was gonna cast Green Flame Blade and just be like, yeah, I'm good.
Listen.
I will give Nazari the special flint.
Thank you. So let's see here. Oh, okay. I just want to look over my spells, see what I can and can't do. It was cool. I got a lot of at-will stuff.
Cal's gonna hand off his familiar and just be like, if I ever get lost, I'll be able to sort of find you. Right? And you'll take good care of him?
Would put me in charge of small creatures, children, or anything like that.
Where do you keep your bird?
Extra dimensional spaces.
Wait, we could do that?
Yeah, you dismiss it like this.
Like snapping. He's snapping. He's like has the bird on his hand, and he's like snapping with the other, and then he snaps with the other hand and boom, disappears. Like whoa.
They get bored.
Mm.
Is there anything else? I mean, like aside from like, I'll draw like my sigil. So if you see this, I've been here. You guys have your own mark. Let me know what it is now, so I can recognize it in the future.
You know what the shield looks like from 300, where it's the circle with that triangle symbol in it? That would be LCD symbol.
I was gonna take off his mask. This.
Just smack it into the dirt real quick, leave an imprint.
Yep.
Okay, and then again, note the sun, note where we are in relationship to the sun. If we get completely lost or we need to evacuate, we head back in this direction at this time. That's all the planning we can do, really. So, keep your ears open, look for tracks. Let's try and be as quiet as we can.
I'm all set. I'll get once we find Erroneous, I'll get him out of there. All I need is pretty much 2 rounds. One to teleport in, one to teleport out. So
and then Nizari, do you think you can shadow us from the top of the wall, just sort of like marking where we go on the top?
Oh, I don't see why not. Yeah, I can make a strike with my short sword.
Yeah, you can shadow step.
Huh?
You can shadow step pretty regularly, right?
Oh yeah, 30 feet. Yeah, so it'd be pretty easy for me to jump around.
So,
How many monk levels do you have?
I don't have any clones.
No, I said monk levels.
Sorry, one. No, I'm sorry. I have 7.
Do you have any ranged weapons?
Is the
I have guiding bolt. Let's see here.
I was more thinking along lines of, are you able to run up walls yet? Because you could run up the wall, shadow step up further, and as long as you're not in combat, you can make it all the way up.
I figured I could just. No, I can't do that yet. But I can teleport through shadow, so I can make a mark wherever I can jump out and jump back in from any shadow. So I mean, that shouldn't be a problem.
It just takes 2 rounds to get 60 feet, right?
Let me just make sure.
So you shadow step 30 feet, next round shadow step another 30 feet.
Yeah.
So you can shadow step, but then he'll start falling. That's the issue.
Oh, shadow step, grab on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, I can just.
That's why I was asking if he had the monk ability to run up walls and stuff. So he could run up 30 feet, then shadow step the rest of the way.
What level do you get that at?
I think 11, maybe.
Oh, yeah, so I'm up there.
That's when a lot of classes get their, or it might be 9.
Okay, yeah. My next thing is going to be a level 8 monk to get my my feat or ability increase, whatever I choose. I'll probably go for a 2 dexterity to get a 20 dex going.
Nice.
How's your perception?
My perception is a +5.
Okay.
All right.
So you're a good candidate for Overwatch.
Yeah, I got, and I also have a devil sight.
Though Calyx does a lot better damage from range, so.
Can you shadow step with another person?
No.
Aw.
Calyx, you want to take point? Sneaky like.
Sure. Not the sneakiest one, or the one that can take the most damage, or any of that, but sure.
I'm all out of guiding bolts, so I am basically just a teleporter at this point.
We had a long rest, so hit the long rest button at the top.
Yeah, you had the long rest
Oh, sweet. Sorry.
with the you guys.
Okay. I can. So I got 2 slots. I can. Let's see. I got heal, guiding bolt, shield of faith, bless, and bane. And and I can give guidance. I'm gonna try and remember to give guidance to whatever check you guys get, because I can just say it whenever, right?
Pretty much.
I mean, normally you gotta say it before a check is made, but DM dictates whether or not you'd be able to give guidance or not.
Well, is it before the roll is made?
Well, I think if you're going to give guidance, you should give guidance to affect the outcome.
Anytime that you could give the help action, like to help for a check.
Yeah, that's what I was
that's
thinking.
why I would-
Before he makes that roll, I can go guidance, and then he then adds the next die.
Mhm.
All right, cool. I just have to be close enough to touch. That's all.
All right. So, sorry that took a little bit longer because I had to restructure based on the entire setup, based on the way you are approaching and taking into account what you're looking for, and take because there are put it this way, there are a number of random encounters and going off of what Doth is looking for and making a couple rolls. This is what I think you all see, and so I do think there is some smoke coming from an area, and as you see it rising, as you're not, of course, you're not close like that, just flying in where they see you, but as you're coming by, you can see that there is a section of one of the maze walls where, almost like looking at the sheer, like as you get closer, the side of that face of one side of the maze wall has man-made wooden structures built into it, as well as natural rock formations that kind of broke away, and it almost, from one side to the other side, it forms like almost like a broken rock formation, a bridge that bridges the gap. And you could tell that there are a couple of figures that look human, do not look like minotaurs. They do wear crude metal helmets with horns, so they kind of look like human minotaurs at first, but as you get closer, you realize they just are these barbaric, maybe nomads that live here, and looks like they're cooking meat over a flame. Can I get a perception check from all of you?
I was gonna say the plan for trying to get picked up later on would be go with Dolph's idea of the smoke signaling for if we get separated, and use that as like, hey, we're gonna get on top of the wall, smoke signal, check.
Yeah, because where does Mikos keep coming back to? Or is he going to come back to wherever he drops you off? So you're going to put up a smoke signal, so he'd be looking when he comes through. He'll be looking for that smoke signal. Got it. Okay.
Thanks. For perception. Nada.
Not rolling hot tonight. That'll be a 9 perception.
Okay. And anyone higher than 9?
21.
21. So Doth, you also noticed that on one side there's like a broken ruin formation over here that goes into the side of a rock, side of the mountain, and there seems to be like a portcullis like down that goes into the sheer rock that's over there. You can tell that there are these man-made because of the crude formations of the rock, there are these wooden bridges that have built between them as well. Anywhere where you see the ground here, there is ground under you, but it's about a 50-foot drop to that stone. So anything that looks like it's beige is pretty much a drop from the gray stone that you see in front of you. And Doth also notices that the two figures that are like cooking, there's a human leg spit roasting over that fire, and there are dead bodies, fresh dead corpses all around this camp. And these fellows are just kind of kicking it and having a meal like it's nothing, like they just set up camp.
Well, I think it's time we introduce ourselves.
You sure you don't want to just...
There's nothing stopping you from doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, how do you want to approach this situation if you are going down here, what do you want to do?
Can you do a flyby, drop myself off? I'll see these if you want to come with.
Yep.
Felix, feel free to arrange from flying chariot.
Yeah.
Is Nazari, are you jumping down with them, or?
Yeah, I'll be jumping down with them.
All right, so these horses kind of strafe over. These figures look up and down out of the sky. These silhouettes come, boom, land into their camp. Just to make sure you like don't sprain or hurt or grab any, nothing goes wrong. Acrobatics checks from.
Ooh, nice.
16 plus 2, so 18.
And I get 21.
21, nice. A little Nazari. So, what do you all think it looks like as you kind of make as you land as the chariot flies overhead?
Are there any shadows that I can?
These guys are just kind of. Oh, go ahead. You have any shadows?
No. Are there any shadows I can shadow step into when I land? So I kind of just go right into the shadow and maybe just come up, kind of crawl up.
Well, we want to approach from the sun behind our backs, so that if they look up, they couldn't really see us. So we're right.
Yeah. So the sun is kind of beaming down at your back, so they see the silhouettes coming down. So I think most of the shadows would be like literally where they're under the bridges. So Nazari, I don't think you're gonna pop into necessarily a shadow from the top there.
Okay.
Is it any shadow that you can see? Because where you're landing, you're not going to land in a shadow. That's what I'm saying. But
we're casting a shadow to the right because we're higher.
Yeah, if you're higher, if you're falling into, but so how
Needs
is
to be
it?
in shadow too.
I would have to crawl in the front of the chair and jump down, and almost glide into the shadow. Then that wouldn't work either.
Yeah,
that idea just won't work right now. I think
it just won't work right now. Yeah,
it just won't work. So that's fine. So I'm just gonna. So honestly, I'm gonna be really cautious as I drop down. I won't have any weapons in my hands, but I'm gonna just be a little. I'm not gonna be like aggressive.
And these kind of big Schwarzenegger, muscle heads, like straight out of like they're ripped like out of a fantasy art from the sword and sorcery days, and these crude chaos like helmets where you can basically see the beaties of their eyes. They kind of, one of the guys is roasting the meat, one of the guys is already tearing off a piece before it's even ready and kind of jamming it under his helmet, and with patches of dried blood, and they look like they've scarred themselves in several places with weird crude. I think Dothwood, as he lands, notices that some of the markings seem to be consistent with Mogus followers. But what were the acrobatics checks?
I got
I got like a 10.
10, okay.
18.
21.
Okay, so all of you Doth kind of lands, and you stumble for a second, but you're fine. Everyone,
I realize how much weight I'm carrying.
yeah, everybody lands around you. There's like a crack in the ground where Doth lands, and there's like.
I'm jumping behind Doth.
Okay, so you're standing there behind Doth in his like black billowing cloak, and these guys look surprised. You just came out of nowhere, but you can tell this is a land like. I heard Doth describe it as like, you ever been in a brawl fight, but that everywhere is they immediately jump to their feet and like breathing heavy, don't really say anything, and like almost like sound like dogs under their helmets. They're not even making any type of sense. And one of them is like slowly reaching, for this large great axe at his side. And the other one is kind of going for his blades that he has like tucked at his sides, or behind his back.
Do we have surprise, or do we roll initiative?
Were you gonna try to surprise them into combat? It seemed like you were dropping down, and because Zazari said I didn't have my weapons out, so I thought you were dropping down to try to talk. But are you?
No,
was this you were going for an attack?
Yeah.
Okay, then I want.
And then I'm gonna put my hand on Dotha's knee because I figured he's just towering over me. I mean, like, we might not have to fight.
Shut up.
Yeah. So what I'll take from Doth is
We heard about our Lord and Savior, Arroas.
Doth, give me a. You would probably have to jump on them, but with Nazari trying to stop you there, just a regular stealth check. These guys weren't. I'll give them disadvantage to their perception, but let's see. Okay. So Doth and Nazari, you're not giving me a stealth check, but also anyone else who landed, Alcides, you're giving me a stealth check as well.
I have disadvantage on myself. So
I know you're not trying to stealth, but this is I'm still comparing it to see whether how.
Not one.
Okay, yeah. All right. So Doth, you are the only one able to get your surprise attack in, right? So you get the first attack. It's gonna be it's gonna be open. They're not gonna see it's kind of like as they turn, like what I just described, and then you landed and lunged. So what does it look like? What do you do?
I'm just gonna go ahead and slam hard into this guy with my horns, try and push him off the cliff.
All right. So rushing forward, that goring rush. Go ahead and give me the attack. Does that actual move move them?
I have to hit first, and then
Yep.
they have to make a save, DC 16, and then another move. They fit.
Okay, you got it. The guy who's just trying to pull the blades.
This is gonna get really annoying.
I know.
13 to hit.
13 to hit, which I actually think hits. That just hits him. So you do hit him as he grits his teeth, blood pouring in his mouth as you slam into him.
It takes max damage. Sweet. 12 points.
12 points of damage.
Needs to make a DC 16 save or get pushed 10 feet away, which is hopefully off the cliff.
DC 16. All right. He will, with a 4, that will not work. So 10 feet, you said?
Yep.
5, 10. That puts him into.
Oh, that's to his doom.
That's a far drop. I guess that was a 50-foot drop, so that's going to be 5d6s. An extra additional 20. You see him just fall like, out of I hear it. He like starts to, he slams to a bunch of stones as he's rolling down. So, well, he took that 20 plus the 12 that you hit him with. Everybody else, roll initiative.
18. Pretty good initiative.
15.
24.
I thought I did good.
+4, man. I rolled pretty well.
Yeah.
All right, and so
Damn, Rick, I think you gotta start rolling the physical dice. Stop, Rick.
Yeah.
Those.
All right, Alcides, what'd you get?
Wow.
15.
15, nice. Doth, what'd you get?
12 eventually.
12, okay. Not bad. Nazari?
24.
Jeez. 4. And then Calyx?
18.
18. Did I miss anybody? I think that's everyone. All right. So as Doth just like little, you know, Nazari's like, no, don't do it. And just that guy goes flying off. The other guy grabs his axe, holds it up as he's, you know, preparing to rush forward. Nazari, as this is all happening, now you realize you're up.
Okay. So, I'm just gonna quickly run in for a basic sword attack because he's hostile now. My first attack. I got a 18 to hit.
18 hits.
I'm gonna spend a key point to try and stun him.
Okay.
Roll my 11 damage.
Take 11. 11 it is. So, and then to stun, what I need to make?
Oh, a con save of what is it?
21.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you kick him or slash him or whatever. What did you hit him with? He stumbles back.
Well, my short sword.
Short sword. Yeah. So he's cut across. See the blood running on his arm. He just like licks it, and then gets ready for.
All right, and then I get ready for my. Can I do a flurry of blows as well?
You should have 2 weapon attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, you're level 8.
Oh, I do. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna do another attack with my short sword. Thanks, Jameson.
Making flurry of blows for 2 unarmed attacks.
Yes. Well, so this attack gave me 15 to hit.
That's gonna. You said 15.
It said 14.
14. That hits.
That was low AC.
That is 8 damage,
All right, 8 more.
and then I get 2 flurry of blows. Right?
As long as you spend a key point. Yeah, 2 unarmed attacks with the flurry of blows.
I'm gonna do that.
So, like you kind of hit him in that same arm where you cut him, push him back as you start kind of. Now you just like launch into this flurry.
So the first one is 11 to hit. No, I'm sorry, 12 to hit.
And you hear it, and then while you're fighting, Alcides and Doth turn because from behind you, you hear that portcullis like clink, 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 like clanking up from behind you.
And the next one's 11 to hit.
All right. 11's gonna miss, unfortunately.
Okay, well, does the other one miss too?
What
Nope.
was it?
What was it?
If they were both under 14, then under 13, then they missed.
Oh, yeah, they both.
Yeah. So your flurry. So with the flurry, he kind of like, ting, like it's like using this big hit. He kind of puts he almost uses the great axe, and it's like a double-sided axe, right? Like two sides, and he's using that as like a shield. So as you kick and you punch or you throw your short sword, you kind of keep into it. It's sending all sparks there as you guys are standing high above, and you can hear the Mikos kind of flying these buzzing by with these horses with our boy Calyx still up there, and then we move to suddenly this huge guy over here comes out. He's hunched, skin is kind of like a pale pinkish purple, and he literally a giant hunchback with this raggedy yellow teeth, and one eye is just moving around. It's a very large eye, and it seems to kind of pierce wherever, not pierce means like it has an interesting sickening glare wherever it looks. Who has come to my domain? Mogus has promoted me, and anyone here must vacate or perish. And he looks over and he goes, "You cannot take this from me!" Kind of like spitting as he speaks, and he will.
Do I get a turn, or did he go?
No, he's higher than. What was your initiative?
18.
He's higher than you. He's a dirty 20. So he will move. He's able to make it just across putting some strain on the bridge there. But I'll move the bridge. It's still there. Just to get him to stand. And he will. He looks in Doth's direction, like looking at this minotaur with this like skull helmet on. And as the eye stares at you, Doth, I need you to give me a charisma save.
Yeah. Or 18, I think.
18?
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So as you
16 plus 2.
Okay. So this eye, as you look towards him, as he gazes upon you, you feel that sickening feeling, Doth, and you kind of have to like reach inside yourself with this resolve to kind of push back against like these weird thoughts that are in your mind. It just feels like it's psychic damage, like it's hurting your mind. You will still take 19 points of psychic damage. So that's as far as he can get. So he can't get the extra 30 feet to get to Doth. Calyx, you are up.
Okay. Can the chariot swoop in like 90 feet within the Cyclops?
With it?
Or
Yeah, he has two. He's not quite a Cyclops. He's got like one little tiny eye and one big eye.
Can he swoop within like 90 feet of them?
Yeah. And one thing you note, Alcides, can I have a advantage perception check?
The advantage of that is a 19.
So Doth, what you notice too is that around his neck, it's tattered and it's little. It's not even full length. It's the size it would be on a human, but he's literally a giant. But hanging over, kind of billowing in the wind, almost like a handkerchief, you can tell by the quality of it and the cloth and the way it's created, it is an official Acroian cape that he's wearing around his neck. This big giant.
Completely out of character. Is this Oh,
The
what was his
trader
name
from 300.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
On
got a, yeah,
steroids.
he's got a base on him. Yes. Yep. That is his inspiration. So nailed it.
So as he's swooping by, gonna bonus action cast Hex
Okay, Hex it is.
on him, targeting, let's say Wisdom, or actually Strength check. Wait, Wisdom checks. Wisdom.
So a disadvantage on wisdom checks.
Yep.
Okay,
And then
he's hexed.
swinging, just and telling him, hey, keep your distance, and like tell him like pull away, and then as we're flying, getting away, 2 sharpshooter shots.
Okay,
First one's gonna be 19,
it's gonna hit him.
and then second one that'll be a 9.
9 will miss. As one of them lands in like the bulbous area on his back. Reaches up, kind of swinging towards these chariots that are clearly not even close, right? As they fly over.
That's gonna be 28 damage total.
Jeez.
Just loading up that one shot.
Yep. You can tell the hand that free hand kind of clutching back on his towards the pain that he feels from that rod sticking out of him.
Just see this the necrosis just start stretching from the hex.
All right.
And you feel getting pretty good at that.
Alcides, you are up, sir.
You. I'm gonna be like, Naziri, you can handle the small one. And I got 40 feet of movement, so I'm gonna move towards the big guy.
Okay. Where he gets you right there when you can strike him.
Yo. Then just make 2 regular spear attacks. Ah, no. Oh, that's inventory. That's why I can't see the condition. Does a 14 hit? The big guy.
It does. Not
Alrighty.
armored very well, a lot of skin, big guy, but trying to also balance on this large
14
cliff.
hits. The 22 hits.
Yes.
5 plus 3 is 8. Plus 12 is for 14 piercing.
14 piercing. He'll take that 14.
And then bonus action, use my shield master feat to shove him 5 feet
Okay.
Shield
off the
master.
edge. And there's no save for that.
All right. 5 feet back. 5 feet this way just drops him here. 5 feet this way. He's a large character too, so he can be able to clamber on. I don't think he's going to fall.
That's fine.
Yep. So he drops down. I'll give him he kind of claws and he kind of falls over clumsily. And he takes a little bit more damage from the rocks, but yeah, he's just right here. Because if you would have shoved him directly back, he's still got the bridge. And if you shove him sideways, he's still right here. So yeah. I mean, I don't think from the bridge, from the angle you have, I don't think you have the momentum to shove him that way. So
Yeah, plus, it's only 5 feet and there's no save for it.
yeah, so it's just a 5 shift. Yeah, so it just puts him like low angle here. So he's like right there. Ah, you brute! I will have my revenge. And you could tell that as he looks at you, as Alcides rushes toward him, he has this like hate in his eyes for you.
Both his eyes, or just the big one, or just the small one?
Mostly the big one. Mostly the big one. So we are at Doth.
Alright, I'm going to cast False Life on myself. At 3rd level. Giving myself 16 fake hit points.
Okay.
And can you make bonus attacks with offhand throwing weapons, or is that only with the attack action? I forget.
Only with
Say that one more time. Can you make? Oh,
Oh, can you use your bonus action for an offhand weapon attack with a throwing weapon?
I don't think you can. No.
Oh.
I mean, if you could, you just wouldn't get the modifier for the attack.
Well, it's only if you take the attack.
I think you have to take the attack action.
You have to actually take the attack action. So if you're gonna do something else, you can't just use the bonus action for it. But yeah, but if he was gonna attack with his weapon and then use the bonus action, that's fine.
Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and move closer to this dude, I guess.
Okay. This dude over here, smaller guy or big guy?
Let's give the big guy something else to swing at.
Okay, so you're coming to him.
Yeah.
I imagine you can kind of hop off here.
Okay.
Yep, look at you there. Okay. So that puts you in close combat with him. Give him some. And then, okay, so that's ends your turn. And then he whistles, and as if we put his hands in his mouth with that one free hand, the left hand, and out from that same passage runs this giant dog-like drake. Runs up to Alcides. So I know it's hard to see, but it's right behind him. It's like a red dragon dog. It's a drake, and so it comes running like teeth open. This thing looks unlike, even though you've rarely see these things. It's this red four-legged dragon-like creature, but you can tell that its ribs, as it's running, its ribs are showing like it doesn't, hasn't eaten well in some time, and it will attack Alcides, which is probably not going to hit, even with its big jowls and all that, because I know how hard Alcides is. Oh, it actually, nope. Went from a 19 to a 3. So not going to hit him with that bite, and then it strikes out with its tail one more time. That time is an actual 19 for 27. Hit.
Yep, that'll hit.
And only going to do with the tail slapping you for 7 points of bludgeoning damage. At this point, from entry points in little parts of the cave, the rest of these berserkers kind of start to crawl out of the woodworks that you'll see in different areas. So one of them, still needing time, starting to climb up, spending all his time dashing, literally climbing the rock to get to Doth. He will not be able to attack. This guy will only get there and will not be able to attack. He pushes the body off. Trying to get to Nazari, the guy who's coming from the cave. Actually, he'll go. So there's a guy way in the back who's running across, going down way in the back somewhere. And then this fellow will climb up to the rock here, and he has a crude bow and arrow that he just starts firing at the chariot, and then this guy will attack Nazari. So only 2 of them really get an attack this turn here, as the rest of them are just kind of moving into position. So the berserker attacking, and our guy who's hurt is trying to climb his way back up, but he's not going to be there for some time. He may even stay out of the fight, but our first berserker will attack Nazari recklessly. So you will have advantage on them this next. So Nazari does a 16 hit.
Yes.
All right.
It's meet my armor, actually.
Meets it, then it hits.
Yeah.
For only 6 slashing damage. So you like kind of step out of the way. He's like, oh, he's like swinging it back and forth as you nimbly are ducking under it, and then suddenly, one of them it kind of like nicks either your shoulder, or your face, or something like that, leaving a scar wherever leaving that open wound right where it nicks you. Only gets that one attack as the other berserker is shooting up, which won't give him any advantage there, but just shooting one shot at the. 24. It's a good roll.
For what?
For the shooting at the shooting at you,
Okay.
Calyx.
Say 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll hit. That'll hit.
So it's just gonna be 5
Oh, okay.
piercing.
Then Conte. Hex is still up.
All right, the berserkers are done. Top of round 2 here. Nazari, you are up.
Well, where am I at right now on here?
You're right here in the orange.
Okay, and so I'm still engaging with that first guy, right?
Yes.
All right, so yeah, that's. I'll just do the same thing.
All right. Got it. Go ahead. My whole set towards.
Is anybody else near me right now, or am I by myself?
You are kind of by yourself.
Okay.
Whoever like they're within 30 feet. So Doth and Alcides are right here. Like they're not far away from you, but you are like fighting up here on this plateau by yourself. You see that?
Yeah, I do. All right, cool. So they're about 30 feet away.
Yeah.
All right. So then I'm going to use my action to cast darkness on myself.
Okay.
And then let me see if I have any bonus actions. I don't think I do. Let's see. Are there any shadows nearby I can teleport to?
Under the bridge, there is a shadow. Behind you, yes.
Oh, I see. No, I'm just gonna stay where I'm at and inside of my darkness for now. Then.
Okay. So you create like a darkness around you.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I have the devil sight, so I can see just fine.
You can see just fine inside of it. Okay. So as you use your action to cast darkness, clouding the vision, making it difficult as this berserker is now swinging wildly inside of it. The Formarian, the hunchback, will attack again will now turn his attack, moving up and trying to. Actually, does he have reach? I don't think he does. If he doesn't, then he actually does 15-foot reach. So he'll attack first to Doth with the first swing of that great club. That will probably, as Doth moves, glancing, it crashes into the rock, spewing up a bunch of like broken pieces, not hitting. And then he'll just swing again on Doth there with the club again, instead of moving it to Alcides. Kind of swinging forward, swinging it back for a dirty 20. Does that hit Doth?
Dirty 20 will hit.
And I was actually, I'm gonna be fair to myself. I actually said I was gonna take that second and strike at Doth again. Doth, does that still hit?
Doth's 22.
22. So I missed Doth. All right, and then he swings his eyes and averts him, but he does look at Alcides. Alcides, I need a charisma save.
That'll be a 9 plus 11 for a dirty 20.
Jeez. Okay. So you are able to take only half of that. You see that, hearing those whispers as he looks at you with this whatever kind of dark energy coming from that eye. You'll take 13 points of psychic damage.
Cool.
And then from there, he's made his attacks. Alcides.
I'll make one spear attack towards him and then one towards the dog.
Mogus is
Dang.
with us. Do not.
And
not
TEHROS is
mistake.
with me. Alrighty, that'll be
Is this to him or to the dog?
one to each.
All right. So he's. Do you have reach? Because he's pretty. He's a little bit farther from you. You'd have to move into position to get to him. That's. He had. He has a 15-foot reach, which is why he was able to bat at you. Yeah.
Darn.
I know
Spears
it's I know
don't
it's kind of
have
hard to see from here, but you're a little bit farther out from him. Doth
reach. Yeah,
is
that's
like
fine.
right
I'll
there.
stab the dog, jump down, and stab at him.
All right.
So that'll be a 18 to hit the dog and a 22 to hit him.
18 hits the dog, and yes, you hit both of them.
That'll be 10 damage to the dog and 12 damage to him.
Okay. Take it.
And then bonus action, push him 5 feet to the left.
This way.
Yep.
5. That still has him. Because this how large his space is. 5 feet. He's still there.
Yep, man. That'll be my turn.
His hands, his feet kind of start to straggle as he gets pushed back by you, like he's kind of teetering there on the edge for a second in that split second, but still stands his ground as Alcides finishes. Doth, you're up.
I think you might have skipped me.
Oh, did I? Calix, I'm sorry, you're up. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, same thing as normal. Just taking sharpshooter at the big guy.
Okay,
12.
that will miss.
Not 20 for a crit. So
Oh shit, that's gonna hit.
let's see. 22 plus 31 damage.
Oof. So that one hurt as it did all that damage, but I think the way it hit, it like glances across the top of his head. It would have like gone directly into his head, but blood starts as it leaves this huge gash in his bald, ugly face. It starts to pour, blood over his eye, kind of throwing him off. This doesn't give him any kind of negative effects, but to the story, like he's really hurt.
The blood just starts to curdle,
yeah,
just turn
like
all black through the
clogging.
X, and I'm just gonna be like, fly away now, go, and just like to the driver, just be like, go, and haul as far away as possible.
All right,
you can still hit him within 600 feet. So I'm just bolting.
Doth is up. Right there,
Did you want the dog to get an attack of opportunity on me?
No, because you really just pivoted. You went down 5 feet. It doesn't really mean you guys are still in combat. So I didn't give him anything for it.
I'm gonna try and basically jump on the giant, grab him, and like throw him and myself off of the cliff.
Okay. So you'd have to. What I'll ask for is you have to grapple, and if you can get the grapple, then you would just move yourself off the cliff, and you would take the fall. You would both take the fall damage together.
Okay.
5d6. And then when you hit, I'm gonna have you. If we hit the ground, you probably make a disadvantage, a disadvantage that will be based on my number to try to continue to hold on to him after you hit the ground, unless you're gonna let go, right? Like I don't know, would you keep?
Oh, I have every intent of bonus action Misty stepping back to where I previously was.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so then give me the grapple check.
Unarmed strike. Or...
It would just it would be an athletics check for
check.
you. So for him, he got a 21.
I got a.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong strength. He would have got a 24. Sorry.
I got a 20.
20. So yeah, so you grab him when he's like his leg, you know, and you're trying to like grapple that leg, almost like wrestling style, push him off, but he doesn't budge. You're not able to move him. You're not able to get a good grip on him as he pushes you away. Not going to be that easy. Unless you got something else for me.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have worked though. I mean, but yeah, that's the way I treat. Because if you get the grapple, then you move over, then that works.
Okay. Is he still grappled though?
No, he was able to fight your grapple because you did it. Yeah, that's gonna beat the grapple. So yeah, you guys are just kind of tussling, and he pushes you off, and now you're both free again.
Bonus action, Misty step the fuck away.
Could do that.
I'm fine with that.
After Doth, the Drake will snapping down from this higher perch, like above you, snapping down on Doth for.
Me and LCDs.
LCDs, I'm sorry, for a dirty 20.
That'll hit.
And with those jaws for 5 piercing damage, and then swinging its tail, which would be harder to hit. The tail's not going to do it. Then the berserker fighting. Actually, the first berserker is still climbing his way up. So he'll be over here by the time he. The second berserker, who's the one fighting Nazari, will attack again. Wow.
At disadvantage, right?
Yeah, what's that?
At disadvantage? He's in my darkness, right?
Yes. So then it's a straight roll because he's attacking berserkering. So he got a 14 with the straight roll. So 14 plus 5. So it would be it'd be the 21.
Oh,
wait.
Yeah.
14
20,
plus 9
30,
is
20,
19.
20. Yes, 19. I'm tripping.
Still hits.
No, it's right. So D12. So that's a 10. So you'll take 13 slashing damage. As he's just literally swinging in the darkness, like, where'd you go? Like not even trying to get out of it, just swinging blindly in the dark. The other berserker that now flying outside of the range, trying to get a shot of Calyx.
Anything, just trying.
He's gonna just try it. He's gonna shoot at the Pegasus, or one of the horses, which I think they have an AC of 20. I got a 12, so I don't. Let me see. I think it is. It might even be lower. It's a 12. So one of them is hit for a D6 plus 1. 3 damage to one of the Pegasus. Of 60 hit points. They had some
3
chance.
damage. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, not much, but
Getting nervous here.
and then the one that's going to attack Doth. There's one guy like right next to Doth. He's going to get 15 to hit Doth. I don't think that's going to do anything. And this guy ends up moving up, climbing over, and he's dashing into darkness where Nazari is. So he's trying to get over, but he doesn't see anything. And because he dashed and climbed up, he's not going to get an attack. So I think that does it for all of them. And top of the round with Nazari.
All right, so I'm just gonna go straight up attack that guy then that I've been hitting this whole time.
Yep.
The first one is 24 to hit.
Will hit.
First attack is 10 damage.
Take it.
All right, I'll do it. Nope, I'm just gonna next attack. Do I get advantage because he's in darkness and I can see fine?
Yes.
I mean, you get advantage because you reckless attack, dude.
Yeah, you get advantage because he reckless attack.
That's true.
He gets super advantage, which is just regular advantage. Special.
You got advantage. That's a which actually worked out. That's a 26 to hit on my next attack.
You're hitting this guy. Yeah, so now he's like blind. Now in the dark, you're just kind of like Batman in this guy. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I am vengeance.
Yeah.
Hey, he's goat man.
Goat man. Goat.
Come on.
I am goat.
It's right. It was right there. It was right there.
At least you are the darkness still.
Yeah.
I am definitely the darkness. That is 7 damage, and I'll spend a key point to do a flurry.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Nice. Damn, he's not looking good.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
Plus,
Probably also like a mix of like just drop kicking with the goat legs. Like
15 damage.
All right. So now he's just punched. He's punch drunk. Like the next blow could kill him. As he almost doesn't drop, but almost like drops his. He's like for a second there. He's almost leaning on that axe like a cane.
Can I still spend
Dragging it.
another key point to do another flurry? Because I didn't spend it on the first attack.
Have you already done flurry of blows?
I did 1. So can I do 2 if I spend another key point?
so you get 2 attacks.
Yes.
For flurry of blows.
You already did. You already did 2 attacks. Now you're doing flurry of blows, right?
So this is the order. I did an attack, and then I'm gonna hold off, and then I did the next attack. I did flurry of blows with that attack, but now I'm asking, can I do another one for this one? Can I spend?
You can do your second.
If you do a flurry of blows, you get 4 attacks total.
Okay, so then
It's kind of like adding. It's kind of like duplicating the attack action.
yeah, I'm doing it out of order, so that's why I'm asking if it's
That's
okay.
yeah. Can he do it out of order like that?
Well,
That's
it's just what you do with your bonus action.
Yeah. So it's your bonus. So because you could split. If I have 2, because it's still your action. So let's say I'm a fighter and I have on my action I get to swing twice. You can swing and then you could do your bonus action and you can still swing again. So the bonus action is going to give you the extra 2.
Flurry of blows, you have to do it after because so you have to make at least 1 attack and then you get a bonus action attack or flurry of blows.
yeah. So you have to do it in order.
Got it. So then you got to do So then do your other attack and then do your flurry.
But you can still make an unarmed attack instead of attacking with a weapon as a monk.
Oh, so then I can spend a key point and just do an unarmed attack.
Well, you don't even have to spend a key point for that.
No, like
That's true.
like
huh?
on your action for your 2 attacks, you could do 1 weapon, 1 unarmed.
Oh, okay.
Like you don't
So-
just have to use your weapon.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I did.
But what we're saying is he's got to do both of his weapon attacks or weapon unarmed and then do flurry of blows.
Yes.
Yeah.
okay.
So
So then
now you can choose bonus action, just 1 attack, or flurry of blows for 2 attacks.
okay, so I did the flurry of blows, and I only hit him, and I got the natural 20, and I hit you that one, the ones for the 15. So then that would mean I get it again.
So if you've done, how many attacks have you done total?
3.
3. So with the flurry of blows, you get 1 more.
Monks are
Does-
confusing.
As a monk, you get a bonus action unarmed strike just as your bonus action. Flurry of blows gives you an additional 1.
I got a dirty 20,
Okay. That's going to hit.
another 10 damage. Oh, 9 damage this time.
How do you finish him?
So I picture him in this cloud of darkness, and then I'm within the darkness. I'm gonna basically just recreate the underworld in a way, just to try and scare him. And he's gonna try and run out. As he runs out, he's gonna fall. So you just see half his body, and then you see my just devil eyes in the darkness. And I pull him back in, and then you just see parts flying out.
That's sick.
He is
This
done.
is Tasmanian devil.
Inside that darkness. Nice. Because that ends Nazari's turn. The Hunchback, he is looking pretty hurt here, but bloodlust is in that eye even as blood runs over it, and he will he'll attack these. This club will go to first club will go to Alcides for a 19. That's not going to hit you, huh?
19 misses. AC is
19.
20.
Yep, and then he will strike at Alcides once again for 21. So then he will do with the Great Club. So as he smacks that down, Alcides takes 19 points of bludgeoning damage. And then he looks, even with the blood peering through the eye, he still tries to look at Doth. And this is not one of those where you pass it and you're over it. So, but yeah, Doth has to make another charisma save here. Bye.
Also, you get to add 4 because you're next to me.
Oh, that's good because I got like 10.
So you got 14. Just gets it, beats it again. So Doth only takes 15 points of this psychic damage, and you can tell Doth every time he stares at you. What, on a molecular level, Doth is feeling like you're fighting your body changing. Like even when Alcides it's trying to deform your muscles, but you keep fighting it off. Like you keep fighting it, but the whispers and the weird stuff that like wants to mutate you. So again, but you'd only take the 15 instead of the 30 psychic damage. Leaving Calyx, our deceiver, up for.
All right. He just pulls back the bow and just says, "Fuck off, Quasimodo."
Do you know who that
He
is?
misses one. And then 16 for the second.
16 and what?
The first one misses.
Misses. 16 hits. Yep.
Yep. 17 plus 22 damage.
All right.
Fuck off, Quasimodo.
So he's looking. He's flashing red as another one. This one hits him in the lower gut. And he steps back. This red cape billowing in the wind.
All the
He
air
swings
all the-
wildly as Doth and Alcides continue to like dance around him or block his blows.
All the veins from the arrows are just starting to radiate out as the hex is just corrupting that.
Corrupting him, yeah, from the inside out. What was Calyx and so Alcides?
Do I gotta move 5 feet forward again?
You're gonna move 5 feet forward.
Like, do I need to attack the hunchback?
Well, he didn't move, so no, he's the same space he's in, so no, you're fine.
Cool.
I just
Attack
gotta
towards
yeah.
him. I hate how it does this shit on the phone every time. Does a 13 hit?
He steps back and like you're like there's a moment you're all fighting and your spear is like at his eye. He like blinks and like steps back and it doesn't hit.
Cool. Well, the 23 hits.
23 hits, so you hit him again the next blow. Yep.
Just
And I'm
poke,
going
just
to
slow poke.
Divine Smite
Okay.
and use my bonus action to make it an Inspiring Smite.
Okay.
$12 piercing. And where are my d8s at? Plus 9 radiant damage.
Flourish of that radiant light. Any more? Is that all of it?
And then 8. Oh, wait. 12 plus 8. So, and then 10 temporary. How many temp hit points do you currently have, Dolph?
They all went bye-bye.
Okay,
Psychic
so
damage.
add 10 temporary hit points, and then I'm going to take 10 temporary hit points.
Sweet.
He staggers back, labored and breathing, arrows in his side, one in his back, slashes from your blade, burns from the radiant damage from Doth's attacks. Yeah, he doesn't. There's no time to really say much, but he looks pretty haggard and weak. As we move to Doth.
I'm gonna speak the word of radiance and blast everything within a 5-foot circle of me that I don't like.
Okay. So it's all him and that guy behind you, right? So
Yeah. Constitution save or 2d6 points of radiant damage.
All right. So the main guy's con save is going to be a bad con save. Let's see. He gets a +5, which I still don't think is going to do much for a 11. It's going to be a fail, right? Yep.
Yeah.
And then the other guy behind him is going to get an 18. The Berserker got pretty good with a 21.
Okay. 12 points of damage to those who did not make their saves.
All right. So Fialtes takes 12, you said?
Uh-huh.
He gets hit. He goes, "It doesn't matter." His blood is spilling out of his mouth. "If I die this day, Akroin, your city will fall. I have already shared vital information to your greatest enemy." Top of the round here. Oh no, it's Doth. I'm not about to skip all my bad guys. So the Drake will strike Alcides. Not gonna do anything there. The Berserker that's been hit by the word from Doth will strike back. Man, not hitting anything. Literally blinded by the radiant light. This guy leaps over to here.
To imagine Doth's divine
Yep, he's
word
gonna
is
make
just
it.
high.
With darkness still up, he's fighting in the darkness to try to just hit, sorry, it's a regular roll, straight roll. Snap ones trying to find the Zari in that darkness. This guy is smart enough to try to find his way out of it. I'm gonna give him a DC. He's not trying. He's just literally trying to get out of the darkness. So DC 6. Yeah, he got a nat 20 to navigate his way out of that darkness and just move over this way to attack Alcides. That is a nat 20. It's for 25.
You just rolled 2 nat 20s?
I just rolled 2 nat 20s.
Wow.
Back to back, yeah. Now, take in mind you, the second one was with advantage, which is why I got the first one was just a regular nat 20.
That's kind of cool.
But yeah, two nat 20s. So for a d12 plus 3, for 5, 8 slashing damage to Alcides. As this guy runs all the way up here, dashes, leaps over into the darkness. No fear. Anything 5 and up, he's gonna make it. Okay, so he's in the darkness. He doesn't get to attack Nazari. He just leaps into. He kind of like 300 slow motion with his axes out.
Gets enveloped.
Yeah, and just gets enveloped, and he just lands swinging. Now, how high do you think Mikos has been strafing this? How high off the ground has he been? Does he come in lower? What do you tell me, Calix? What we would be seeing when you do make your attacks, like how?
Like, I feel like he's just been going as far away as possible. Because like I did my magic, I'm just like, and I saw one I got hit, then the horse got hit, so he's just kind of like hauling, and I'm just gonna like tell him when to turn around.
When to turn, got it.
But it's kind of just been like, as long as I'm north.
I want you to give me a piloting check for Mikos, and I'll tell you what that's going to be. What modifier you're going to add to it? It'd be his. You guys are about to win, so I was like making things some more interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. Give me a wisdom check. So it's a straight roll. I just need a straight D20 roll.
Wisdom check, straight D20 roll. Same.
Yep. No modifier. Just
9.
9.
Yep.
So you're bound to have having someone else run this for you, and because imagine like this entire time in these few less than a minute here that he's been flying out and then coming back, and on that turn he's got to make sure every time when he does turn he's got to make sure he doesn't clip or hit anything, and he's got to also try to gauge it. And suddenly one of the horses, like he kind of gets it off, one of the horse's wings clips the side of the wall, and you guys don't crash, but you just kind of dive down momentarily. He's like, oh shit, he's pulling up, and he pulls it to where he's kind of like strafe running across the top of like really, he's almost like where they right there. And this guy is like, fuck this bow and arrow. He just runs and leaps out to try to grab on. Now, here's where I'll give you the check that he needs to make to actually grab on. I want you to give me another piloting check. This is another straight roll. And that's going to be the DC that I need to beat with my dexterity check from this berserker. I've already rolled
17.
it. What'd you get?
17.
All right, he rolled a 15 plus his dex.
Oh, no.
Let's see what it is. He rolled a 16. You got an 18. So he leaps. And
I got 17.
He grabs onto one of the wheels, and he's like hanging there.
I just hit him with the bow, and I'm just like, stop.
And you just watch this guy fall. He misses the 50. Like, he doesn't hit the side. He goes all the way down hundreds of feet. Gone. He went for it, and he's dead.
Do I get credit for that kill?
I'll give you credit for that. I mean, we're not doing experience points like that, so but yes, you get credit for that.
Well, no, just like I'm just hitting him with the thing, and then like all of a sudden the specter rises up, and you're like,
yeah, because he would have got his berserker off if he would have like been able to leap right on board and just attack you. But yeah, so that's another berserker that is no more.
Okay. Well, now he's a specter.
This turned into Mad Max real quick.
Yeah, that's essentially what I'm going for here. They're getting desperate at this point. Let's see, with that last guy, I think that puts us top of the round. Yep, that was the last guy. So Nizari. This could be it, with there being only, what, 2? Well, there's still 4 of them. But they are in different levels of hurting here.
Different levels of dying.
Yeah.
Let's just speed up that process.
Yeah, I'm gonna help this guy out right here. Just do what I'm best.
Yeah, introduce him to Athreos.
I'm definitely gonna slip a little clay coin in his pocket, before I leave here. Okay, let me just do a straight up attack here. I got a 12 to hit on the first attack.
Missed the first one. They're pretty much 13. So.
Okay. I'm hitting on the second attack.
Okay.
The 7, and then an unarmed strike. Okay, that hits the 17.
Yeah, they're pretty weak, but they just have a pretty decent amount of hit points.
Okay. So then that's a 5 damage.
5 damage. So in addition to that, 7. So your darkness is still up as you're fighting inside of that, working these guys. He's still holding his own as you're, cutting him. And then, is that it?
Yes, that's it. That's all I can do for now.
All right. Sizing up his opponents. Who is hurt more? Looks like both of them. He's going to strike again with that club, aiming it for Alcides, the hunchback, just because that's where the anger is at. Starts with there. And is going to miss. And is going to swing again to Alcides again. This time for a 28. For 17 bludgeoning damage. And then as he hits him, he goes, "Die, Rowan!" And then and as he's kind of like trying to pummel him, he just kind of continues to look at you. And as you even avert your eyes, fighting back, Alcides, give me your charisma save.
That'll be a 21.
All right. We'll take half of all these dice being rolled.
Is it what I think it is? And it's a polymorph.
It's not a polymorph spell. That's not the. I mean, it kind of works. No, it's. I mean, you'd have to fail. I'm not going to tell you what it does unless he actually fails. So yeah, I won't. I won't.
15. Just sickly curious.
Takes another. Actually, take 14 points. 14 points of psychic damage.
Array of grotesque mutation.
Yeah, it's some kind of grotesque mutation. Calyx, you are up once again. As you see, you can kind of tell that Alcides is on the ropes here, like with his shield, as that thing is bludgeoning his shield, kind of starting to break through, but he's holding his own still. Of course, as an outgrowing him and Doth.
Just see, it's beating. He's beating down. He's raising that arm up, aiming right for that shoulder with 2 sharpshooter shots.
All right,
that's definitely not going to hit.
That first
That'll
one
hit.
The second one does hit.
Yeah, for a 20, and then that's going to be 20 damage plus. So 24 damage show, just right.
So as it when it hits, how do you do it?
Just looking right there, just aiming right by LCD's shoulder, just trying to hold on to that shield. And then right when he's about to strike, move right to the back. And then all the veins from the hex just start connecting and just start eating him from the inside out.
And so, he like...
Can we say he falls off the cliff and gets hung by the cape?
So what actually happens is as he's taking in all that from the hex, he kind of drops backwards to fall off the cliff as, away from Alcides and Doth, and his eye kind of pops out of his socket as he falls out, and then from like the hex, and tears and falls in front of, rolls in front of Alcides and Doth's feet, and he falls off. And by the random chance, if there's anything but a 1, then what you described is what happens. And for sure, as he goes down, he gets hung by the cape, and hangs there momentarily before it rips because the body is so heavy, and then falls down, crumpling like a giant rag doll down to the bottom. And he is no more. He's dead.
Is he a humanoid?
He's a humanoid.
Accursed Spectre. As the body starts plummeting, the only thing that is holding the cape is the soul as it starts rising back up.
Okay. What is this? What sorcery? What are you doing to me?
Calyx just kind of like, just like evil laughing, just like,
you
okay.
won't pay for this.
No, you're going to. I'm gonna tell it to punch itself.
Punches himself. So though he is dead, Calyx has done his shot. Alcides is there. These berserkers aren't like normal. It's not like their leader is dead and they're just gonna let up. They are still clearly coming. Alcides, as you spin around, what do you do?
I'm gonna dump 30 points of lay on hands into myself.
Okay. We move to... So as he's healing himself, is fighting off the creatures. Doth, you're up.
Alright. Let's gain battlefield superiority real quick.
And then I'm gonna I was gonna bonus action
Oh,
cast.
Cast what?
Searing Smite on my weapon.
Okay. Searing Smite is being cast on that weapon. Alright. Now to Doth.
I put 36 hit points worth of people to sleep.
Okay.
Starting with the lowest.
That will...
That's a good thing I just held up because I was at 12.
Yep, I was waiting for you to do that, actually.
That will drop. That will drop the Drake.
We need to tame this thing.
I wonder if it can, like, be a bloodhound. Should have bought that scroll of animal friendship.
But
We
only
can
the Drake.
feed it that giant colossus corpse at the bottom.
There we go.
And it's like, and on its feet, drunk, it kind of collapses over. Anything but a one. It does not fall over the edge, so its body's laying there. That worked, Doth, for that one. The rest of the berserkers are still up. Moving from Doth. The Drake is down. One of the berserkers up top will fight at Nazari in the regular check in the dark, being berserk. 18 Nazari
Yep, that hits.
for 8 slashing damage. The other one, berserking in the dark, of course, not gonna hit you. And then the one fighting at Dolph, man, 1 and a 2. The one fighting at Alcides, nothing, 5 and a 2. Oh shoot! I just realized 2 dice get to be re-rolled. I was rolling a d20 and a d12 for both of those attacks. So I'll just roll 2 d20s again, both because there were 2 d20s that were not rolled. One's a 5 and one's a 13. So and I'll make it random. It's going to be a d4. 1 and 2. This one is Doth. 3 and 4. It's Alcides, and my d4 goes off the table. So it's going to be Doth for the 13, so 18, which is not going to hit. All right. So scratch all of those guys. And all right. Did I wait? So the Drake went down. Who had gone? Yeah, that really was because it's moving a lot faster now. So we're back up in Nazari.
Yeah, it's so fast.
It's so fast once you get down to like a few guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
that went quick because there's no bad guy. Yep.
That's why I love TEHROS. It's like
Yeah.
one of, okay. All right, I got 2 guys in my darkness now.
Yep, you got 2 guys in your darkness.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm just gonna engage one of them.
One of them is the first guy. One of them is the guy who finally climbed all the way back up. The first guy that Doth kicked off. So he's looking pretty jacked up.
Okay.
Just gets up, all of his friends are dead. Like,
Yeah.
oh.
16 to hit.
It's gonna hit.
I had to give him
He's like,
props
whoa,
for
whoa,
devotion.
whoa, let's talk.
That's 9 damage, and then I'm gonna do an unarmed strike. The 21 to hit. No, 22 to hit.
Hit.
That's 10 damage, and then my second attack.
Okay. You're just working this guy. He's getting pushed back.
I rolled 1, 2, and probably 3 with a sword.
26 to hit.
Of course.
I don't think that hits.
Right.
I hit you. 7 damage, unarmed strike.
Jeez.
Jesus. Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
That's 16 to hit.
Gonna hit.
10 damage. I'm done.
How do you do it?
Oh man! So basically, I'll. So what I'm gonna do is that the 15-foot like sphere of darkness will retract into like my general shape, and my body won't move, but my eyes will open and then just move toward like the one of the guys that I was attacking. One of the guys that him, right? Yeah, and then it's the darkness is basically just gonna flood toward him. And as it's passing him, it's gonna just rip him up.
Got it. He gets shredded and is no more as all that darkness ends. Good stuff. Systematically wrecking these guys. Jeez, the one guy's really weak here. Okay, Nazari is. I'm sure that's the end of your turn.
No, that's 4 more
If you
attacks.
have anything left, Calix, you are up.
All right. Dealer's choice. Which barbarian I attack with a sharpshooter? Or first, I'm gonna move the hex onto him, and then sharpshooter. Give me 17.
Okay, let's get
Or
a
21 plus. So for 26 damage for my first shot.
He's just hitting, and hits him in the leg where he can't pivot or really kind of fight well. He's staggering and limping, large puddles of blood hitting the ground from that shot there.
And then for that second shot, I aimed for the leg on the last one. He ducked a little bit and just went wide.
All right. From there, Alcides.
Cool. I'm gonna hop up next to the dog and attack the one next to it.
Yep. You're standing somewhere up there. We got it.
Yep. 2 attacks. That'll be a 14 plus 8? Nope, that's inventory. Actions. Nope, 14 plus 7. That's... I'm brain farting on math. 21. Okay.
21 damage. Oop. The second strike could do it. As he's looking. For the first time, the craze is coming out of his eyes as he realizes the life is draining out of him.
I mean, I think the first one will do it, because that's 8 damage plus another 6 fire damage.
Okay. Then yeah, how do you do it?
Now just stab, he bursts into flames, and then just kick him off the edge.
Just chucked off and falls. Dies before he even hits the ground.
And hop down to the second one and make my second attack.
Right.
That'll be 14 to hit.
That will hit.
And if 14 hits, that'll be 12 damage.
Takes it.
Cool. And then bonus action, push him 5 feet off the edge. Backhand him with the shield.
All right.
I love it.
He'll fall, and that one will be no more.
Well, I feel like everybody's build is just on target now. It's pretty slick.
He has no idea. He's in darkness right now. So I'm thinking, if I can get a turn on him, I might just turn my darkness and be like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
These guys are fanatical. I don't think we can reason with them.
24 to hit on Nazari. On that, we got 1 strike to hit you, and so D 12 slashing.
That one guy, he's doing good. Hey, you gotta give up for him.
Nazari, you're up. You can.
And you can't shoot him, Calix, because he's in the darkness.
Yeah, he's in the darkness, so Nazari's got to do this one.
Sorry, you should drop the darkness.
Okay. I'm just going to go after this guy just the same way as I did in the last guy. So that's what I do best. So. Sweet. $19 to hit.
It hits.
8 damage. Harm. 18 to hit.
That's gonna hit.
It's 9 damage. And then my next attack.
You don't even need to go to it. How do you do it?
So what I want to do is I want to just turn my darkness off so he can see it.
Yeah.
Right before I slash his throat.
And he's just like, and so as you
Just
So
so
it
you
was
can.
like anime where you like dive through the slash, so you like you start here, but you end up on the other side of him, and you
Yeah.
see him kind of like spin, and there's blood just like all the way around as he spins, and collapses over his back. Unlike all the guys that fell off, he doesn't fall off the group. He just like slams there on the ground, looking up towards the sky, like coughing, and then. As he dies, is like coughing up blood. You have wrecked and taken over the scene. So there are bodies on top of bodies now. That means most of the bodies are down at the end of the canyon. They're in addition to the bodies of whoever they killed before. These haggard, and they don't even necessarily look like poor souls. They look like they were probably just as crude or as barbaric as these group. The floor is yours. What do you all do next?
I'm gonna look down at the who just died, and I'm gonna start praying and giving him a clay coin. Make sure he goes to TEHROS and pays his toll and under my breath. And then when I finish, I'm gonna be like, "Well, that's done with." I'm gonna step up onto his dead body, and then I'm gonna start playing my flute.
Can I have a religion check? From you, Nazari.
I'm still needing my bonuses. Really. I got a 10.
Okay.
I'm gonna move to bind the dog, so hopefully his flute music doesn't wake it back up.
Yep. So
Yeah, I was gonna roll an animal handling to tame the doggo.
Okay. A creature like this, something that lives in the Badlands, one animal handling check could do it, but one might not be enough. Even if it's so based on what I'm saying, it's going to be a high difficulty check. But to do that, you'd also have to wake it up first. So you probably want to let Doth chain it or tie it. Is that what you're doing, and then wake it up to make that animal handling check?
I've got manacles, so will they fit around its legs, I guess?
Yeah, I think you could manacle this thing. Yep, lock it up. And
I think I got a chain too. Yeah.
And you would get most likely this soul made it to wherever you're supposed to go. Athros should take them. So you do get 1 piety point from 2 piety points from Athreos Nazari for that.
To whom?
You got 2 piety points from Athreos.
It's cool.
Yeah, and the dog begins to stir, hearing the flute. How do you try to tame this creature, LCDs?
Giving it some food that isn't humanoid meat.
And it like snaps and eats it, swallows the ration very quickly. Starts to growl at you as its eyes open, its yellow eyes kind of focusing, getting very lizard-like as they kind of draw inward the pupils. Give me your animal handling check.
19 plus 1, so dirty 20.
Okay. It seems to appreciate having the meal, but as quickly as it snaps, you could tell that if your hand was even a further, like even a little bit over, it would take it off, and it would take it off gladly. It continues to snap wildly, but you do get the feeling that for a second there, it recognized you, but this thing is still very wild. Most animals aren't tamed overnight, and this doesn't seem to be enough. And it seems to look around, and it starts to look up. It's like sniffing, like while it's like chained on its back towards one of the dead bodies nearby, and like reaching out towards that, snapping towards you. It's still kind of wild. It's still very wild.
I'm gonna cut off the guy that I was dancing on. I will see the animal, and I will cut off his leg.
Okay.
And bring it over lightly to try and do my own animal handling, or however you want to handle that.
Stop that, I say to Nazari as he approaches with the leg.
It's like,
what are you
Has
thinking?
the best ideas.
This thing already eats people. I'm trying to get it not to eat people.
I love that Doth is against this. Like, what are you doing?
I don't understand what's wrong with this right now. He's
exactly. You see, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, do you want it?
I mean, it is like a dragonoid dog. It is not.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm good.
It's not quite a cannibal like everybody else. It's just.
At this point, Nazari doesn't see what's wrong with this at all.
But I see why they want to train it off of not eating humanoid flesh. Makes sense because you don't want it to eat. You don't want to have your scent. Both sides. I'm seeing both arguments here. So does he? So
I'm good. I don't need to. I don't think I'll eat undead flesh.
I'm gonna toss the leg over the cliff. I'm new to the party. I'm like, all right, whatever. If it eats you, good job.
And so with the dog, manacled and locked and chained, you'll have time to, depending on how much time you spend here, it might take more time and effort to put it this way. It'd be easier to just put it out of his misery than like take it with you with it constantly yapping and making noise. But what I will say, Alcides and Doth, it is not. It's not if it can be. You have a feeling that it can be trained. You just wonder how long it will take to be trained, and is that worth keeping it around? Because there is a glimmer of like you could work with this, but in your environment, do you have the time to do it? And so I don't know if they're marching on now, if they are heading down. So if you look at the way they structure the mountain, they could kind of work.
The eye that fell out of it, the big guy.
Yeah,
just kind of like pick up the eye. And just
pick
see
up
if
this like wet, kind of like gelatinous like eye, and it's kind of an interesting power to it, and if there's some way for you to try to like keep it or hold on to preserve it, maybe you could. You have held on to that pomegranate for a while, but it is very much just kind of loose. It's not, it's not glass or anything, right?
Yeah. Just gotta hold on to it though. Maybe like practice casting a spell through it. See if it, instead of the Eye of Newt for the hex, it's like he's just practicing moving the hex to the body's using the eye if he can. But
okay.
Sorry,
say that one more time. He practices doing what?
So like moving the hex to just different dead body, just practicing moving the hex using the eye, just like sort of similar to the Eye of Newt. He's been around.
Speaking of corpse parts, we still got that Gorgon head somewhere.
That thing is.
Yeah, Ray gave it to somebody before he departed. Did he give it to you, Calix?
Yeah, if Rakira gave all his stuff to Calix, Calix has a severed Gorgon head in a bag.
You got a Gorgon head, yeah, and a +1 scimitar still, yeah.
Yeah, and it is decomposing. So it's just we'll see it at some point when you pull that thing out if it works or not. It's worth a try.
The dog.
You could.
He's gonna pull it out and see and like cover his eyes.
You're gonna hold it to the dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
The decomposed head.
I'm gonna make this. Jack, Calix, can you give me, so no one feels like I cheated them or anything like that, just a D100 check, and as long as this thing has been dead, there's a 25% chance that it activates and it still works. So
57.
So it's like. So it's there, and the eyes are kind of rolled back. They don't seem quite to work. And it's weird. It's like it's dead, but the features kind of start to twitch, and the eyes like roll, and then they go straight for a second. And when they look at the dog, or its skin starts to almost like frost over, not frost, but like have you seen but in terms of petrification. And then it immediately stops, leaving the dog's backside now kind of like its skin kind of armored slightly, which may raise its AC by a point.
Oh no!
And then the the head stops and the eyes just kind of burst. There's like a black ooze and the jaw like twitches and it no longer works.
Nazari will sneak by, look, and then look up at I goes like, I think it's broken.
He's gonna like look at it and just like look really intensely into the eyes. Like,
If you were like casting like gentle repose on it or something like that, I could see it like still working, but it's just been sitting in a bag like for all the shit you guys have been through. Like
Nazari casts minor illusion to make it look like it just turned back on while it's looking at Callum.
oh, that's so creepy.
just like he sees that,
Like, yeah!
kind of sees what Nazari's doing, and then I'm gonna like do the same thing I did during the Gorgon and just immediately freeze.
Nazari's just gonna crack up right now.
Oh.
Okay, Calyx, am I correct in assuming you pulled the soul from the large, grotesque humanoid that we were fighting earlier?
I'm turned to stone. You can't hear me. And
I can communicate with you telepathically.
And, like, the specter comes up and he's like, he told me to tell you that he's turned to stone. Don't talk to him. Just like what's it called? Like a fast food worker that's worked a 24-hour shift and is so done with everything.
You mentioned that you had informed our enemies. Care to elaborate?
Oh, you're talking to the spirit of the creature. I don't.
That specter ability allows us to kill first, ask questions later.
Does he force to answer?
Yeah. Well, I'm forcing him to answer.
But he doesn't have. He doesn't. You don't control. You don't. You're not. He's not charmed, right? He's just under your control. You just can't go anywhere, right? Yeah. So he's still him though. He still has every.
It obeys your verbal commands.
Okay. It's how to do things or to answer questions. That makes sense. I can read that. Okay, a couple ways.
All right. I want you to tell me everything about who you work for and all the things that you've done in the last month.
And your favorite color.
Ooh, good one, Calyx. I want to know this too.
Me too.
Many things. What I've done is I've done what was best for me. I've had to survive in these lands more than months, years since I was a child, discarded. And I eventually found my place. I don't work for anyone, but I have been blessed by someone who Mogis thinks very highly of. His name is Inigo. And he is bringing a level of bloodshed that I think has not been seen here in TEHROS. He has come from another realm, somewhere past the dark gates, a place beyond Oreskos. He is the leader of the Hyenamen. They call themselves the Knoll. And their combined power with the Minotaur will bring a force that TEHROS is not ready for. And I just shared with them everything that I knew about the Great Stairway to Akros, everything I know about the great statue, I forget the name of it, but the centurion that pretty much fights for Akros.
Colossus of Akros.
Yes. The ways in, the ways out. I tell the truth because there's no matter. I am dead, but at least in this form, I will be able to see what's coming to you all.
Well, you're gonna be gone in like a day.
Actually, you seem to know your way around this place, don't you?
I know my way around parts of this place.
Fantastic. We're looking for a kid. Have you seen one lately?
He's not a kid. He's actually like kind of old.
Okay.
Like he looks
We're
like
looking
this,
for a kind of
like
old.
turn into Erroneous.
A kid. Okay. I'm going to need a little bit more information. What does
He looks like that.
Oh, yeah, you turned into Erroneous.
Yeah, I'm just like groveling and begging, just like he does this a lot.
Can I have a... It can't really intimidate him. He's dead, but I mean, a persuasion check for him to be honest, whether he's seen.
Who's it from?
Doth asked the question, so I was thinking you, Doth.
Okay.
I should never do anything related to it.
Skill.
I rolled a run with a -1.
Oh my gosh.
Like you do it, and it's like I'm not even convinced to like force him to tell you.
He looks familiar. Is he hurt? What of him? I've seen plenty of people come and go. He's probably dead by now.
Apparently he's not though. That's the thing. And like
let's see.
Can I have an insight from Calix?
7.
Okay. So he's like, yeah, I've seen him. He came in weeks ago, maybe. I saw him come through the front gates. What he calls the front gates, or the entryway to the labyrinth. He was with a group of warriors being led in a caravan of carriages. And in those carriages, there were newly acquired slaves for a group that we've seen growing here, who worship both Mogus and Yinagao. They worship death. They aren't quite followers of Yinagao as much they are. We have there seems to be mutual respect. They call themselves the Homicidio clan.
Oh, like you just see the gears turning in Calix's head. And you're like, oh.
Remember that from Satessa.
And as we kind of push in on Calix's eyes, like, there's these quick flashbacks to Rakira's dream and the clan that raided his village. The hand of someone with a dark whip killing and maiming Leonin left and right. A mixture of centaur, minotaur, and other humanoid kind working together to shed bloodlust. In this name, we recall the Medusa who came to give you the hit back in the arena, that she was paid by someone who worked with the Homicidio clan. And on that kind of surprise face kind of coming back as he shakes his head, we'll crash to black and end tonight's session. You guys can talk about what you think about that and what we'll do next. Okay.
I'm torn because Erroneous is just one man, and this is a threat to all of Akros.
Well, you could see it as this elevates things. If you're like, do you go back and do you try to bring more forces? But yeah.
Well, we still have options.
Yeah.
So at least we know that this specter can bring us to the entrance from where we're at.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, we should also ask him if he has any treasure and which way or traps and things like that.
And what does I do? Why is it so weird?
I mean, we can give a message to our drunken pilot.
Take it back. Oh yeah, you should ask him about the eye for sure.
Yeah. Why are you so weird?
You asking him about the eye?
I'm just asking why he looked weird in general.
He was. He explains that he's was deformed when he was a child, and that he was discarded by the Acroians because he would have no purpose in the culture. He could not work. He could not be a good soldier, and therefore they discarded him. Similar to 300, they threw this like baby off a cliff.
I'm sorry, Quasimodo. Like he brings him in.
Yeah.
It's like a spec. Like just goes through. He's like
survived.
forcing him to give Cal a hug.
And he survived on his own with the help of a hag that found him and raised him. And that night hag performed some ritual on him that made him larger so that he could feel like he actually had strength, which also just helped him survive better. And when the hag died randomly while he was out gathering, he came back and she was dead. Strangely, what he doesn't know, I don't think he understands, he kind of treats the hag like a mother, but she had like kind of a spell on him, and when she died, that spell was broken, so he was actually free to wander, which he found himself here in Scothos eventually, and kind of was given some kind of, for the first time, some kind of power to reign over, to help rule over these like group of berserkers by this person he calls Yinago, or Yinagal.
See, I know who Yinagal is in D&D lore.
Yeah.
But none of our characters would know.
Yeah. It's a bit of a crossover from Faerun, so pretty much, and it makes sense because if you remember, you guys fought the Hyena Men, which are gnolls. So the gnolls have crossed over from, and if by Magic the Gathering lore, all the realms are connected anyway, so.
Plus, TEHROS is a continent/country. It's not the entire world as well.
Right. So yeah, they've never gone beyond their borders. So to them, they don't know where this Dark Gates is attached to, but that's where these creatures have come over from. So yeah.
Also include that in Alcides' backstory is that was his job, was like going along the borders and just traveling throughout TEHROS to see like catch goings-ons.
Yeah.
Because that's also in the Acros lore, is they protect all of TEHROS, like all the borders from the Dark Gates, from stuff that tries to enter.
Yeah. So yeah, it's getting interesting. We're connecting back to some old territory. Finally, in some way. But we'll see. Yeah, that too bad Rakir is not around.
That's all right. I'm so happy with Nazari. I love him as a character.
Nazari's great. Nazari's great.
No, I really
I'm
love
digging.
him.
Nazari's a good addition to this party. Jeez.
He finally got to use I finally got to do my entire strategy of what I kind of started designing Nazari through, and it worked out so well. I was able to fend off 3 guys by myself.
Nice. So yeah, if you are planning, I'll let you guys decide. That doesn't have to be tonight, but where you'll start next time. If you want him to take you to the entrance, if you want him to take him into your lair, and what you can do is, if you want to discuss between now and the next game, we could you could even just ask me questions that he would have to answer. Now, how long do you hold that soul?
It's until the end of my next long rest.
Okay.
Which is just it's not like an 80. It's technically I could go days without sleep and he's still stuck with us.
Okay. You would start taking exhaustion checks though. You start making.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And do you have to cold? Do you have to cold? There's no concentration on this.
No concentration.
Okay. So
he just.
What happens if you kill another one? Does it replace the one that you had?
No. Well, I need to take a long rest to get it back. So it's I can only.
So you can only do it once. You can only do it to one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at a time, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Scuffle should be fun. I mean, we haven't been here. Well, it's the way we're gonna treat it. It's not. It's gonna be. I meant the way I built it out. There are sections of it, and how you get there will be more determinant in how you guys are talking to me in terms of how you're approaching it. and types of perception, survival checks, things like that, more so than actually mapping out a dungeon, because it is just too large to run it that way. If anything, you would come across a dungeon inside of Scophos that won't be Scophos, just be one dungeon, like one dungeon within one of the walls. That's what we might come across, stuff like that. Yeah, but good stuff. Good approach. The way you guys handled that, and the way you kind of conceptually, it was different than just walking straight through the front doors. So good stuff. I'll go ahead and start.